At the Okoli Law Group, we specialize in producing justice. If you or a loved one in the Atlanta metro area is facing serious criminal charges, then you need serious legal representation.
The Okoli Law Group is here for you. The Okoli Law Group is here for us.
The Okoli Law Group, serious legal representation.
Yo, peace family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Do me a favor, hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements. We are rolling to Nigeria in a couple of weeks, y'all. In a couple of weeks, we are rolling to Nigeria. I am looking forward to it. I cannot wait to hit up Nigeria for the Oshun Festival. Again, we're rolling to Nigeria for the Oshun Festival. No, I'm Black American. I don't hate Black Americans. I'm Black American. But just I want the Black Americans who are upset over the Essence Festival. I want y'all to buy the Essence Festival. Oh yeah, Nigeria is corrupt. And there are definitely some internal issues when it comes to Nigeria. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're not going to get any disagreement from me with that. But yeah, I mean, listen, I want Black Americans to buy Essence. I want Black Americans to approach Richelieu Dennis with a number and buy Essence. I want Black Americans to use that, was it $30 trillion spending power? And buy Essence. And that's what we're talking about today. It's just, we don't own any institutions. And I think that's the problem when we have this Black American culture argument. It's people who don't look like us, who own and control the institutions and determine what Black American culture is and what gets distributed around the world. And that's the argument we're going to have today. So again, folks are upset at the tethers, at Richelieu Dennis and the Kenyan lady for, they control and own Essence, which is a Black institution. But the question is, why don't Essence magazine, Ebony magazine, was founded by John Johnson in the 30s or 40s. I forgot when. In fact, John Johnson has a great book called Succeeding Against the Odds. Again, John Johnson has a great book called Succeeding Against the Odds. I recommend everybody read that book. We also have BET. But what I'm noticing, for some reason, the institutions that were started by Black folks, we no longer own and control. Except for maybe the AME Church, I guess, if you want to consider that. But for the most part, we do not own any institutions which dictates the Black culture. And that's the problem. Yeah, I mean, you want to deflect to Nigeria? Oh man, there's problems galore in Nigeria. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I mean, the banking, the airport, the infrastructure, the indigenous religions, the local markets, the gas stations, even with all the corruption and poverty, everybody looks like me. And what I'm saying, what I'm suggesting is that as Black Americans, what are we going to do to truly control and own the culture? Because we don't. We don't. But anyways, rolling to Nigeria next month, August 3rd to the 12th. Then we're going to Zanzibar in September. That's going to be September 21st to the 30th. Namibia and South Africa. That's November 7th through the 18th. And then we are rolling to Sierra Leone in December 20th to the 29th. If you're interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa. Again, if you're interested in joining us, please visit Donfo, that's DANFO .Africa to learn more. Big Cheese, I know the owner of Essence is non-FBA, but won't FBA buy it back? Again, my question is simple. Why won't FBA buy it back? You know, the FBA was upset at the whatchamacallit, the Jollof versus Jambalaya war, which again, the base of jambalaya is jollof rice. We can have that argument later. If you guys just strictly wanted to be the jambalaya fest at the Essence Festival, buy it back. But I'm pretty sure the Richelieu Dennis and the I forgot the name of the CEO. I'm pretty sure they're gonna take the criticism and there will be changes for the festival come next year. I've never been to Essence Festival. Essence Festival, the Essence Festival and the Bayou Classic are two events that I want to attend in the future in Louisiana, New Orleans. I've never been to neither, but I would like to go because usually during the Bayou Classic, I've been to Sierra Leone recently. But yeah, that's all I'm saying. You can delineate all you want. What I'm saying is buy the Essence Festival. Buy Essence. Again, whenever we have the conversation about owning or acquiring, here comes it's a deflection. We deflect about Nigeria. Now we're deflecting about delineation. Okay, all I'm saying is just buy it back. All I'm saying is buy it back. But guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, you can already. Again, link. Okay, the Black community sees it as obsolete. Okay, well, just burn it to the ground then. And that's part of the reason why Black people in America, we don't have any long-lasting institutions that we own. Again, and that's part of the reason why we don't have any long-lasting institutions that we own here in America. Because it plays out. And don't say the HBCUs, because the HBCUs was funded and started by white folks, except for the one HBCU was Tuskegee University. Tuskegee University was built brick by brick by George Washington Carver and Booker T. Washington. Even though they got a land grant from Alabama, or the city from the Tuskegee, that the city that was built. I'm sorry, brick by brick by George Washington Carver and Booker T. Washington. What I'm talking about really are institutions that are built by black folks that are still last to till this very day. And we don't have any except for maybe the AME Church, I guess, because again, as you said, it plays out. It's played out. Go ahead, Quincy. Unmute yourself, Quincy.
Yeah, I'm right here, man. You hear me?
Hear you now.
Yeah. I go to the Essence Fest every year, man. Definitely the last 10 years. I went every year they had it, and maybe about 5 or 6 times prior to that. I'm with you giving the simple solution of just buy it back. It's simple. The people who have the capital to do that, I'm not sure if they would have the same priorities in buying it back that say the FBA, ADOS folks, a lot of Black Americans are pushing for. It's not as bad. Let me just be transparent. The narrative online isn't. It's not as bad as it was if you was down there. Yeah, you saw you had like stuff here and there with the Jollof and Jambalaya battle and stuff along those lines, but honestly, it was few and far in between as far as the African presence from what I saw. It was there, but it was still by and large Black American. But there has been an increase in the African presence in the last few years. And there's a concerted effort for that. I mean, there are articles of in essence of them saying they're trying to expand it to the greater diaspora.
Which is a great idea. If you ask me personally.
I think that there are festivals out there for the greater diaspora to focus on them, but this one specifically, it focuses primarily on New Orleans, but Black American culture. Everybody's welcome to come. Like I said, I've been going for damn near 20 years, and it's always been the diaspora's been down there. I met everybody from all across the world down in Essence, but they were coming to celebrate Essence. They were coming to celebrate New Orleans. They was coming to celebrate Black American culture. They weren't coming there to celebrate themselves. Just as if I went to what's the festival you just mentioned? The
Oshun
festival,
Festival. Oshun.
right? And where is that? Was that
It's in Nigeria. It's in
right?
Nigeria.
If I go there, I'm going to celebrate them and what they got going on in their culture. I'm not going there expecting to see Black American plastered and all over the place. Like
Well,
it's a
Quincy, is
different.
there? So, Quincy, let me ask you a question. Sorry to cut you off. So, I got a quick
Yeah.
question. So, the Oshun Festival is the Oshun Festival. Everybody knows when you come to the Oshun Festival, it's to celebrate the Orisha Oshun at the Oshun River. Now, is there like some written agreement or something that's actually documented that says the Essence Festival is here in place to celebrate specifically Black American culture?
Yeah, yeah. And hold on. Yes, and more specifically, Black American women. Essence has always primarily
But
been
I'm
about.
saying that where is that written where it says the Essence Festival is here in place to celebrate Black American women?
If you wanted to be stated exactly like that, then probably not. But it says Black women in America, Black culture. So that we're not. I mean, I know you want to get with the semantics. When they say Black culture, they're not talking about anybody else except Black American in New Orleans, of all places. And like I said, it's been primarily geared towards grown Black women, grown 35-year-old and up Black women. And like I said, everybody of all ages. My first time was going when I was 25. So everybody of all ages can go, and even it's a family affair too. It's a lot of good couples, and you'll see kids every now and then around at the convention center. But it is primarily made for Black American women. I mean, I get what you're saying with semantics, but the truth, regardless of how you word it or how you want it to be worded over the years, it has been worded like that in so many ways. Black women, Black culture, however you want to put it. They've said it a million different ways. They've always said Black women, and highlighted Black women in essence. I mean, all over the place. I mean, anybody who's been down there, they'll let you know that. So that's what it's for. So if you're coming down to it, like I said, if I go to I don't know, a rock concert, I'm going to a rock concert. I'm not going there to hear rap. You know, if I'm going to a blues concert, I'm going to hear blues. I'm not going there to hear, you know, EDM. You know, so I think like it's not a matter of whether or not the diaspora is welcome to come and celebrate. It's more about, hey, don't lose sight of who is this supposed to be about, because if you change it, I mean, things die. We've seen over the last decade these staples in America just die. I mean, Toys R Us is just gone. You know what I mean? That was a staple in America. All these like shopping malls and big stores are gone. A lot of events don't exist anymore. So, you know, Essence Fest isn't they aren't too big to fail. They can fail, and if you know, like I said, it's been exaggerated online. It's still primarily Black American, but if they do push it and try to make it something that is not supposed to be, they're going to lose the very appeal that it's supposed to be. Because Essence is the biggest, as far as attendee go, over 500,000 people every day over the weekend, each day for the weekend. It's like the biggest festival in America, you know, and it's Black Americans who go down for that. And if they want to remove us out of it, okay, cool, like, you know, make it that. And then when it fails, if you're trying to make it a diaspora celebration, then, you know, like, so nah, man, we have diaspora celebrations. I'm in Atlanta, you in Atlanta. I know you knew about what was it, the Afro beats or something they had in Piedmont Park. You know what I mean? They even have all kind of Caribbean festivals all over the city. Like, have their spaces, you know what I mean? And that's cool. More power to it. I've been to a few of them. Cool. That's their spaces. Respected. This Essence is our space. Like, to try to change it, it shouldn't be changed to diaspora space. It's New Orleans first and foremost, and Black American women. You know, that's what it is. That's what it always has been. And if they want to change that and risk it falling off and dying, then that's the risk they take. And if it happens, then I mean, all it's gonna do is open the door for something else to blow up. And I mean, you know,
like blow up as far as what? Like
some kind of other emerge festival to pop up somewhere. I mean, I remember if you remember a few years ago, the BET Awards weekend, they tried to turn that into a weekend. I think over in LA, they tried to turn it
they were doing that for a minute in LA. I was there, they were doing that.
Yeah, they tried to do that. They actually do have the Jazz Fest for the weekend in New Orleans. They got the Roots concert. So I've been hearing people say they should have like a Juneteenth festival somewhere. I mean, I don't know, maybe somewhere in the South, you know. So it's something else can emerge in place of it. You know, nothing's safe from being dismantled and just falling off. Everything is, there's nothing safe. So just got to keep it where it is, man. It's always a good time when you go down. I mean, and if the feedback that they're getting is like, look, man, if we want to go to Africa, if we want to go to a diaspora fest, we'll go to one. But that ain't Essence. That's not what Essence has been. That's not what we want it to be. And if that's what you want it to be, then cool. Then I hope you get the turnout that you do. But all of these thousands of people who usually go on a regular, the faithfuls, they just won't go, and that's just the risk they take. So now, is it enough in America, diasporans, to make up for the people who wouldn't go, the Black Americans wouldn't go? I don't know. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say no. But but we should own it. We should own it. And back to your question, we should own it. But that's our mistake. I guess we're late to the party. And I guess all we saw was another Black person, so another Black man owning it, or another Black woman in leadership. We just viewed it as such. We're late to the whole delineation conversation. We like decades, centuries late to the conversation. And now that we see how it's playing out, everybody's trying to do an about face and a correction of it. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. I mean, yeah, we late with the correction. We hella late. But I mean, better late than never before it get too out of hand. So,
yeah. So how does that? I mean, as far as the whole delineation, and I understand some aspects of it. But where like what's next?
What's next?
Yeah.
So here,
And the reason why I say that is because the majority of FBA, ADOS, they still vote Democrat.
well,
How you
look,
gonna be able to delineate and you still voting Democrat when the
well,
Democrats and liberals are, we's all minorities.
look, me and you both, we're in the same boat when it comes to that, man. Because I despise how Black Americans do politics. Um, so so you have no argument with me on that. As far as as far as the what's next with the delineation movement, um, as far as the what's next is that I think with America, with such an infusion of so many immigrants in the last couple of decades in America, right? And of course, when people's getting their numbers up, they kind of want to represent more because now they have more people with them to represent, right? And Black Americans are just seeing like how maybe 30 40 years ago, a Jamaican or African might have just slid in and just rode with the Black Americans, right? Cool, because wasn't enough y'all around. But now they got the numbers, they wanna rep and have their own thing. And I think what delineation is ultimately saying is, okay, well, look, in this new America, if we go into this new America where we're kind of moving past to a certain degree, moving past race, right? And people are wanted to identify and have ownership and have their own pockets and stuff along those lines, have their own groups. Even they have a whole professional group, a Nigerian professional group in Atlanta, where they get these opportunities under the guise of being black, but then they network together as Nigerians and hand them off to each other. So we're seeing all of this happen, and we're just saying, okay, well, look, if that's the new game plan, if that's the new setup, then we're going to delineate just like you all are, and all of the stuff that 'cause we was, we thought that we were doing the all black thing, right? Which we were doing it, and for the most part, we're still doing it, because ADOS, FBA, this it's a growing sentiment, but it's not. I don't think it's hit critical mass yet. So it's really just finding your own space, your own pocket in this new emerging America that the Democrats swear up and down is a immigrant nation of immigrants, which is so disrespectful to Black Americans and natives. um it's really just about having your own space and say, this is ours, it ain't yours, it's yours. Just like Jollof is yours, and the reggae music is yours, and whatever your Trini, your Bajan, your Ghanaian, all of that. When we speak about all these different groups, they have their own pockets, even if it's some overlap, even if it's shared history. There are their own pockets and respective boundaries. And what they say, like good fences make good neighbors. When you respect, like, hey, this is the demarcation of what's mine and what's not yours, then we can see eye to eye. But right now, a lot of the argument is really because people just, for the first time in their lives, they're hearing Black Americans say, this ain't for you. This ain't your conversation. You ain't us. We don't want you to speak for us. This is just for us. How about you fall back because you ain't us, and we can speak for ourselves or whatnot. So I think that's ultimately what you have, is just Black Americans trying to, etch out of space. Because if we don't, what's gonna happen to us? We just go disappear, or just be called some generic African or something? Like, no, 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 no. We Black American, just like the rest of the diaspora are their own thing, on their own ethnicity, their own group, their own culture. We're our own as well. If you want to observe the music, love the music, copy the music, cool, but it ain't yours. I love Chinese food. I love kung fu flicks. I ain't Chinese. So just because I observe and emulate, and consume a culture, that don't make it mine. And that's the same even if you're African or Caribbean looking at Black Americans talking like us, listen to our music, watching our movies. Just because you observe and emulate us, that don't make it yours. Just as if you was observing and emulating, Australians. You know what I mean? Just because we Black don't make it yours. So
Let me read this super chat. Dre Harden, thank you for the $10 holla. But the Black women, in essence, are frequently dressed in African clothing and trying to go on philosophical pseudo intellectual rants about their connection to the Caribbean and African diaspora.
yep, because Black Americans were the main people in the diaspora who believed in Pan African. That's why. And like I said, it's been a lot of Africans and Caribbeans in essence. So the women that you're referring to might have been African. I done met hella Nigerians, Ghanaians, and Cameroons, the Kenyans. All, and we ain't talking about the West Indians. They all up through Essence. So yeah. So yeah, because we Pan African, and we were trying to make that connection. So there you go.
Menelik, go ahead.
Yeah, what's the topic?
Thousand Principe, go ahead. Yeah, don't ever call in like you just got done hitting the goddamn
hit the blood. Hit the blood.
hitting the blunt. Talk about some what's the topic. Yeah, don't no. You getting kicked off the panel immediately. You just woke up, you're smoking, you sound high. What's the topic?
He sound confused.
Yeah.
But I'm listening to the brother. He's speaking a lot of truth to a certain degree, but I'm going back to the title. The title is something in terms of influence, right? Over own. I don't know. What can you tell me the title one more time? Because I'm getting it as influence over ownership.
There you
I
go.
think FBA,
There you go.
FBA movement is a very pro beating their chest and bashing people, but what steps are they taking towards different issues that's facing the black community, especially the African American community, is nothing. And that's the issue that they're seeing in Essence Fest, is that Essence Fest is a festival celebrating African American culture, but all these black millionaires, black elites, they're not trying to come own Essence Fest, but they're trying to dictate what Essence Fest is supposed to do. Why is there not a black leadership or black billionaires who see the value of Essence Fest owning Essence Fest and dictating how Essence Fest should go? You can't just be bashing the diaspora, because if the diaspora person didn't board it, then the white person would have bought it. You see what I'm saying? But what is FBA goal or idea towards uh, home ownership, award ownership, security for the FBA community? There's none. And I pass the mic.
Yeah,
Maximilian. Oh, go ahead, Maximilian, and then I'll pass back to you, Quincy.
Yeah, Dennis, I'm really keen on this subject you're talking about. I don't think it's a problem with an African owned Essence Festival, because Essence is the essence of blackness. She.
No, Maximilian on that Obama phone. Maximilian on that Obama phone. Go ahead, Quincy.
Yeah. But can I add something real quick too? I don't think it's a problem with the ownership. I'm saying in terms of direction, input.
I had a phone call. That was my fault.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead, bro. I had a phone call.
Yeah, but when we talking about direction, influence, input, Maximilian, you don't think African Americans should have more input in the direction, especially if it's centered around their culture? Oh, you left. But Quincy, you can answer that.
Okay, so on the surface, I actually don't have a problem with Africans in being involved in leadership nor ownership of Essence and Essence Fest. I don't have an issue with it, right? If those Africans understand the product, which is Essence, and who the audience is. Like if you had a poppin' Mexican restaurant in Mexico and you bought it as a Black American, and you want to change it to soul food, and the people complain, you would understand completely what the issue is, right? They went there for their cuisine, you know what I mean? And even if you bought that Mexican restaurant and kept everything the same because you understood your audience, and even if you owned it, but you made sure to keep serving them their Mexican food to their Mexican audience, it wouldn't be any issue. Now they Mexican might be a little racist, if they find out that you're Black. But outside of that, long as you don't change everything up, then it wouldn't be an issue. So I think what's happening is, there are Essence articles where they've said they're like partnering up with some African what is it? I forgot the name of the group. With some groups, I mean, I think was it last year, year before last, they had like a whole Nollywood section of Essence and whatnot. And so there is so let me just bottom line it. Ultimately what's happening is not just with Essence. I think it's Essence. I think it's just hip hop. I think just in general, Black Americans are realizing in influence and just worldwide visibility that we have, right? So what's happening is, instead of say your Africans or Caribbeans, what they're doing is they're kind of sliding in to the traditional institutions that Black Americans have. Let it be the radio stations, let it be the magazines, let it be say like the BET. They're sliding into the HBCUs. They're sliding into our institutions and using our platform to push their culture. That's what's happening. They've shown their hand. We've seen it at HBCUs. We damn sure seen it on the radio with this push for Afro beats. We're seeing it definitely with the Essence Fest. We're seeing it in movies. We're seeing it in movies. I mean, so we're seeing it in all these different areas where
But
Black
may I
Americans.
ask you, may I ask you a question, Quincy?
Yeah,
Because even in the white world, you see that the quote unquote white American is expanding out to the rest of the white world, the EU, the Donald Trump, he's German descendant, right? So the idea of the quote unquote white American reaching out to the global white is not new. That's how they got one of the biggest markets, right? So is African Americans some of their leadership that you may not be aware of trying to do the same because there's different individuals opening studios and there are different partnerships going on between the black elites of the African American, because some people believe that there's no black American elite. I believe it's differently. And the maybe the Nigerian and Ghanaian, because there's new studios going up. Do you think they're just tapping into the almost 2 billion other Africans
yeah.
to add on to the market of the 40 million or 50 million African Americans that's here?
Yeah. They are, and I don't have a problem with that on the surface. But I think the problem is that because Black Americans believed in Pan Africanism so much, and we believed in the whole we don't have a culture, we're not an ethnicity. That a lot of time.
But
No, let me
Quincy,
let me
Quincy,
let me
another
let me
thing,
finish. No, let me finish.
you the guys who push that. You the guys who push that though.
No, no, we in agreement. Black Americans in general, up until recent years, pushed this whole we don't know where we're from thing. Even back like 2018 when Black Panther came out,
That's a lie.
the
That's a
people was on
lie.
that. Hey,
That's a
okay, look,
lie.
okay, well, let me finish and you can
That's
rebut.
a
Let me
lie.
finish. Let me finish and you can rebut. So the thing is, when black people, black billionaires link up with Africa, to me, I want them to link up with Africa as a whole person, as a Black American, not link up with Africa going over there feeling like you need to, oh, show me something that I'm missing. No, you're a whole person, just like a Jamaican who came from the same slave trade is a whole person as a Jamaican. You're a whole person as a Black American. So when you link up with those Africans, you need to link up with them eye to eye, shoulder to shoulder on the same level, not looking up to them as if they know something more than you or they're more enlightened or something more than you because you from America and they're from Africa. Like so that's my only thing. Like if they're linking up, cool, but you got to link up with them as peers, not as oh, we connecting to Africa. Show me the way. I'm finally home. I'm making the connection. I feel full now. Like, nah, stop all of that, man. You're a grown ass man with a whole history, just like everybody else in the West Indies who came from the same slave trade. You are a whole person just like them. So when you go in there and do business as a grown ass man, not as somebody coming in feeling like you're like an empty cup and Africa needs to fill you, because that's how you get messed over in deals. That's how you get people usurping and using Black American institutions in our platforms and sliding in and pushing their stuff over us. That's how this stuff is happening. So
Okay, you finished yet? Are you
yeah, I'm
finished
good.
yet?
I'm good.
Okay. But let me point out something. Have you ever heard of a Harlem Renaissance? Hmm?
Yes, of course I have. Yes.
Okay, so that was established in the 1920s and the 1930s, right? Then
Mhm.
nobody identifies themselves as being African. We assume the identity that we were African Americans or free slaves who then became American citizens. We then established our own literature, our own music, our own foods, our own way of dressing. We weren't wearing no dashikis in the 1920s and 1930s. We never wore dashikis until the 1960s when we tried to get with the Pan-Africanism. I'm 63 years old, so y'all can't sit up here and tell me all this nonsense when most of you weren't even born. James Brown was a black man. Yeah, he might have been a Gitchy from South Carolina, but he was a black man, and he said the anthem, "Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud." Then none of y'all wanted to be called black. Y'all got insulted when we said black. Oh, don't call me black. You're talking about my skin. No, we were talking about the culture. But y'all didn't want to join us. So then guess what? We Americans decided to go our own way. Then when we said that we were no longer identifying as Africans, y'all got mad. Then y'all felt like y'all was something because y'all felt like we were denying y'all. What we said was we have our own culture.
Hey, what was the timeline on that?
You got I let you speak. So
I'm asking you, like, the
decided
timeline.
that-
The
check
timeline.
this out. Check this out. Timeline when we said we was
Yeah.
our own culture, we did
The-
that in 1850s. We did that in 1860s. Did all the slaves get their money together and move back to Africa? No, we took the land that we had and we built farms, cities, and everything else. Unfortunately, the federal government sold us down the river and stabbed us in the back during Reconstruction. They abandoned us, and the KKK slowly but surely terrorized us and took away a lot of our property. But don't come up here with that nonsense, because Black Wall Street was established long before anybody said that they wanted to connect with Africa. Now, if anybody who knows American history knows about the Trail of Tears. Well, yeah, the Choctaw Indians, Chickasaw, Natchez, Cherokee, all of those, yeah, they did have black slaves. And they took them black slaves with them to Oklahoma, the Indian territories. And they mixed with them and they became American citizens also. When the white man found out that the Indian territories had all those oil reserves, they then stole that land and broke the treaty. So please don't come to us with that. Oh, you didn't have no culture. We had culture long before you guys was even established as recognized country. You guys were tribes.
What are you talking about? Hold on. Quincy is African American. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I'm Black American.
Check this out. I'm
I'm Haitian
FBA.
American, and
Hold on. When we were black, y'all didn't want to be black. Then y'all decided to be. Then the world wanted to say, "Oh, we black." Y'all stole our identity. So then
but
we said,
that's the opposite of what African Americans say here in New York, in Philly.
check
They
this
told
out.
you that the
I got
term black is a new term for them. They said it used to be Negro and colored.
from an HBCU. I got mine from Jackson State University in
No.
1978.
But you don't think that you have a bias because you're like part of the more conscious black world, but while the common black world, African Americans, didn't go by the word black or Afro. It's more of a conscious thing. I feel like the African American movement, the FBA, all these guys take claim to the conscious movements of Black America, while the majority of the people didn't call themselves black. They call themselves Negro or whatever. The majority of people
Check this
wasn't
out.
sitting with African leaders. You see what I'm
Can
saying?
I
And then
say
when you
something?
and the majority of you guys claim, let me say my last point. I'm gonna cut my mic off. The majority of you guys
Can I?
claim that there was no African retention. The majority of you guys
Can I
claim all these things. So it's not the
see?
foreign black coming to say that you got. It's the narrative that you guys paint of your own selves, which is a false narrative.
Check this out. We didn't call ourselves Afro American. The white man called us African Americans. We didn't
That's
pick
not
that
true.
name.
That's not true. There was a conscious movement that selected that name.
No,
No,
Wait,
that's not true. That's not true. That's
then
not true.
we
That's
did
not
not
true.
pick Afro American. That was a label given to us by the white man, by the
Yeah,
Census
that was
Bureau.
that was just Jesse Jackson and the Democrats. That was a top down
No.
decision.
If you the pant, some of these different
So
conscious
can we
movements
have
were
some
making that push.
can we have some parliamentary procedures so that we can talk one at a time and
Now,
stop talking at each
now,
other?
Dwight, you talking over everybody. Stop playing the victim.
Because they keep because understanding that man talked for 15 minutes. Nobody said nothing. Then as soon as somebody else talked, he got to interject. Okay, my whole thing is this. Ronald Reagan started that white and black movement. Before I can testify, before Ronald Reagan, when we did job applications, they listed every distinct ethnic group in America. They had Irish American, Polish American, German American. They had listed everybody as American as immigrants. Then when Ronald Reagan came in, he unified white people. He unified the European and he put on the census just white. Then they broke it down a little bit more to say if you white but you got Hispanic bloodlines in you, you not white no more. They made the distinction of then and there who was white and who wasn't. Just like we made the distinction of who is black and who's not.
Ronald
Now you
Reagan, you
got
said.
Hey Dwight. Hey
yes,
Dwight.
Ronald Reagan.
Bro,
Hey
there was
Dwight.
white only signs in the 1920s, bro.
Yeah. Hey Dwight. Let me ask Dwight a question. You say you're 63. I'm 42. I distinctly remember in the early 90s. Now I get what you're saying about 60s, 70s, say a lot on Black and Not Proud, all of that. But there was a push in the late 80s, early 90s on some back to Africa, when Egyptian unks, when the dashikis, the whole back to Africa movement. So
Quincy, they had a whole back to Africa movement right after slavery with Liberia.
they okay,
Martin
that too.
Martin Martin Delaney went to was going to Africa in the 1800s.
Excuse me, sir. Just because a few people decide to do something don't mean that the whole. See, that's what I get tired of. Y'all try to lump Black America. 40 million individuals that we all the same. We not all the same. We got 40 million different stories, 40 million different backgrounds. So stop trying to lump us all. That's just like with Africa. Y'all are composed of what? 53 different nations? 53 different
54.
tribes.
54.
54.
No, it's over
Okay.
4,000 tribes. It's over
When you
4,000
say
tribes.
Africa, you don't make the distinction of your nation. You just lump everything in a. So no, we're not Africans because the Egyptian is not the same as a South African.
Hey, for the record,
Hey,
for the record, Dwight.
I got. Let me pass the mic to Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? I got a question for like my Haitian people. I salute them for 1804. They fought the French and got their independence before everybody else and all that good stuff. I'm just trying to figure out what's the situation now. Like how do y'all fight that war and then get deported from DR? Get rounded up and deported from DR, but be mad at America. Can y'all help me out with that one?
That's a good
Uh,
question. That's a
can
good
I answer
question.
that? They've been getting rounded up and deported from DR. This is not new. The same way they've been getting rounded up and deported from America. You know, there's a legal immigration versus illegal immigration. The only thing is the unique thing about this aspect is that they had, Trump removed the TPS status of legal Haitian immigrants, which is creating the conflict. There's individuals that were here that Trump removed the TPS or temporary protection status that's supposed to go on for 2 years or 3 years or whatever. He removed it to expedite the deportation of Haitians, and that's where the conflict comes in. And but to somewhat offset it, he's also selling certain guns and stuff like that to help rebuild the Haitian army. But I'll see how it plays out. But that's my take. DR been deported people. It's not just DR. It's what's it? Barbados. The different countries
Well,
that deport
I'm
Haitians.
saying the DR. I brought up DR because y'all fought for that island. I mean, was there a DR before the Haitian Revolution?
No, there was no DR before the Haitian Revolution. But they also like
Well,
towards the
so
end
how
of
did
the
they have a right
1800s,
to?
they had their own revolution to have their own area, I guess.
So they directly undermining you guys' sovereignty, but you complain about TPS with Trump.
How they're their own nation, how they're quote unquote undermining
Got
Haiti.
you. Got you because you said because you didn't have no comeback.
I see the why you interrupted people. So
No, but
respond.
how they like if they basically had their own. Basically, they were under Spain, right? Haiti freed the whole island. Haiti invited African Americans to come to the island, etc. But the elites of Haiti, which were some of them were black and some of them were mulattoes. The mulattoes of Haiti had issues with the mulattoes of of what's it called? DR. So they basically when they quote unquote expanded and they try to control the Dominican government, it wasn't the black uh Haitian leadership that was trying to force things down their throat. It was the mulattoes of Haiti. So their conflict is between those two. The same way today, these some of the Arab, the same way there's the Arab pan Arab movements across the Caribbean with the Boulos and all these people. Some of the people that killed Jovenel Moise, the former president. There's a Pan African, the president. I mean Pan Arab movement. The president of the DR is an Arab. The president of the Mexican is an Arab, right? So when you're coming here to kind of make it seem like, oh, the DR kind of welcome the Arabs more than they even welcome the Afro Dominicans. Where's the last Afro Dominican president that you have seen? You haven't, because the mulatto Dominicans welcome the Arabs over the blacks the same way they do throughout the whole Latin world. I'm gonna pass the mic.
Yeah, I just don't see a bunch of Haitian wave flag in DR, so I just find that very interesting. That's all, brother.
Let me
But
pass.
there's still a lot of Haitians despite the deportation. It's over 500,000 Haitians in DR still.
Yeah, they're hiding though.
No, there's a whole movement in DR because some of the essential workers, the people that's are working in the gardens and all this kind of stuff, some of the people that was building up those structures were the Haitians. You do know that. The same way in Chile with the Haitians. The same way in Brazil with the Haitians. You know that, right?
I
You
mean,
do know that, right?
what people do now though? I mean, did it pay off any kind of way?
Secondhand.
All right, let me pass it to Chanel. Go ahead, Chanel.
Hey, Dinus. I've been watching and I just wanted to come up here and hey, all to the panel. Like, I'm my mother's Caribbean. She's from Trinidad, and my father, he is Black American. And there's a lot of like misinformation being spout on the panel about Caribbean people when it comes to the Black movement. Stokely Carmichael was one of the first people in from Trinidad to coin the term Black Power. Um, a lot of Black Caribbean people have been in the Black Power movement. So the misinformation has just been it's just been really tough to hear, especially when there's not a lot of Caribbean people on the panel to dispel that
But
misinformation.
the
We're in
guy
America.
claimed that the white only signs happened under Reagan. This guy don't know his history. So
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
can't say it's just this goofy guy.
hold on. I missed that. Are you serious? He didn't say that.
No, I
He
never
did.
said that. I never said that.
You said the concept of white didn't happen until Reagan.
I said that Ronald Reagan united the term white for all Europeans in 1980 on the census. That's what I said, and job applications. See, you ain't listening, you only hearing.
So
Yeah,
white only
Hold
signs
on,
didn't exist in the
let me
1920s.
pass it back. Let me pass it back to Chanel. Go ahead, Chanel.
yeah. I just wanted to say that because with Caribbean people, Caribbean people have been in this country since the 1700s. In Trinidad, there were Black Americans that fought in I think the Civil War, that they came and they were called Americans. So there's Black American history there. There's Caribbean people history here. So it's just like a lot of misinformation with when it comes to that, and there needs to be more Caribbean people on the
He,
panel to
he,
dispel that.
he oh,
yeah.
Can I
Can I
say
can,
also
can I jump
something?
also
in?
hold on. Also Haitians fought in in both the Revolutionary War and the 1776 war. And then on top of that, when you talk about the
Term, boy.
the Renaissance movement, Duke Ellington, all these people used to go to Haiti. You do know that, right? They saw that as a little miniature Africa. You know that, right? So these guys don't know their history. They don't know their
Yeah,
history. That's why. That's
yeah.
why.
Yeah,
Let me jump in.
and to say for Quincy to say that Black Americans been on this Pan African wave. Well, the first person to actually do Pan Africanism, the father of Pan Africanism,
Marcus
was a
Garvey.
Trinidadian, and I'll land my plane there.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
respond
go
right quick.
ahead.
Yeah, a few things.
Can I say
Black, yeah. Give me a second. Black Power, the phrase, Stokely Carmichael didn't create that phrase. He popularized it because he was a part of the Black American group SNCC. So he came over and got down with what we were doing as Black Americans, and he popularized a phrase that we was using. So I give him credit for popularizing it, but he did not create it. The other thing too is this whole notion that because one Caribbean or two Caribbeans or three Caribbeans somewhere in history did something, then all Caribbeans get credit for it. And that means y'all got carte blanche access and entitlement to our culture because a handful of Caribbeans did something. I push back on that. Like, because if that's the case, Black Americans, we should have carte blanche access to all kind of Black people's culture around the diaspora, because we did a whole lot for a lot of people. So y'all love to throw up, the handful of Caribbeans that did a little bit, and then use that as because Stokely did something, now all Caribbeans should be entitled to Black American history. And the idea that you need a Caribbean up here to speak about the history that's going on in America, like Black Americans can't speak about the Black American history in America. We need a Caribbean to come up here and speak about the handful of Caribbeans that did something. Okay, cool. We acknowledge that Caribbeans have contributed, but that's a handful. That's not like all of the West Indies got together and rode for Black America. Like, let's not, that ain't happened. You had some that came over here to America and they got down with what we were doing, joined our movements, joined our groups, and they contributed, and we appreciate it.
No, but I think that's what you talk about.
Dinah, can I get in them for a minute
Go ahead,
while
go
my
ahead.
phone acts up?
I just wanted to respond to that, though.
Let me pass the Max. Let me pass the Maximilian. After Maximilian, I'll pass it back to you, Janelle. Go ahead, Maximilian.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that, Dinah. I had a chemical spill, and they was calling me. I didn't know my line was hooked in. But the thing about the Essence Festival, Dinah, is Essence mean the essence of Blackness. So anybody can own the Essence Festival as Black. If you're African, if you're from the islands, wherever you're from, it's the essence of Blackness. We're oneness.
No,
That's
Black Americanness, brother.
Man, the Essence Festival is not made for just Black Americans.
Dude, if you take Black American,
sir, I didn't interrupt you. Let me finish.
But you lying though. But keep going.
But if you disagree, you're gonna have your time. And then the next thing I'm gonna talk about, you can talk about Pan-Africanism, but when you try to tell people that people from the Caribbean is not been in the fight with African Americans, brother, you are delusional.
I never said that.
I didn't interrupt you, sir. Not one
time. You lying on me,
sir. I don't need you to be quiet. I'm not lying on you. I'm telling you my truth. I don't know who you are.
Okay,
can I finish?
I didn't say that.
I don't know who you are. I didn't say I quoted nobody.
Let him finish.
I didn't say I quoted nobody. So my point is, anybody that's an African American that does not know how the Caribbean plays into our struggle, their struggle is our struggle. They're not across the water. They right down there below you, brother. Them the same Africans that came from Africa with us. You sound foolish calling somebody from the Caribbean them and us. They are us. To me, that's the most ridiculous thing I ever said. I've never heard anything.
You are a Yankee boy.
Sir,
that's what they would call you.
I'm from Mississippi. So let me finish this part. When you don't know your history, anybody can tell your history. Please don't sit and say Caribbean people are not in this fight with us. I love you, Dinah.
What part of Mississippi you from?
I went to D. Jackson State University.
Okay.
I went to Jackson State University in 1978. Dr. Peoples was in charge. When'd you go?
I went with Dr. Lyons. I came out in 95.
Okay, so that was two different administrations and so forth. By that time, Jackson State was being run by a white president, one in a white boards of regents. Was it not? Yes or no?
Dr. Lyons is a black man with a PhD in psychology, sir. Do you have when the last time you went to Jackson State? Jackson State has never had a white president, so clearly you ain't been to Jackson State.
Oh man, come on, bro! If you don't stop,
Jackson State has never had not since I went there. Now you might have been in the 60s, in the 20s. You were born in 1910. We ain't never had no white presidents. I've known Jackson.
I was born in 1962. My parents both graduated from Jackson State University. I went to Jackson State University on a full scholarship.
Who was this white president you speak of?
The white president who was running Jackson State when I was in 1995, the white woman.
Dr. Lyons was the president of Jackson State from 1990 to almost 2001. Sir, you sound ridiculous. You sound ridiculous. I don't believe you went to Jackson State.
Okay, so let me ask you, what dorm? Okay, then what dorm did you live in? Then since you so Jackson State, what dorm did you live in?
I had an apartment. My family. I know about J. Alexander. I know about the hub. I know about here. I know about the yard, bro. I know about 1400.
No, I asked you what dorm you stayed in. Since you said you went
let
to
me help you
Jackson
out.
State.
Let me help you out. I'm the vice president of alumni chapter for Atlanta, Georgia. Please don't check me on Jackson State, brother. And
Atlanta,
everybody
Georgia,
see me
ain't
with
Jackson,
Jackson.
Mississippi. Ain't Atlanta, Georgia, ain't Jackson, Mississippi. How you gonna sit up and tell me something when you don't even live in Jackson?
Sir, I grew up in Jackson. I'm from Carthage. Where you from?
What high school did you go to in Jackson? Because I went to Callaway.
I'm from
What school
Thomas.
did you go to?
I'm from Carthage.
Well, then how you just said you grew up in Jackson, but now all of a sudden you in Carthage?
Do you know what Carthage is at?
Carthage is over there by the Mississippi Delta by Lexington, Mississippi. I've been through there.
Carthage is 21 miles from Jackson. It's a suburb. Don't be a fucking idiot.
Let's get a Chanel. Can we get a Chanel?
Let's back. Dwight. What part of Jackson you from, Dwight?
I'm from Northwest Jackson, over there by Lake Hyco.
My family's from Terry. My family's from Terry.
So you know what Flowwood is at, right?
Yeah, I know where Flowwood is.
Well, if you keep down 25, the first city you come to is Carthage. It's on a big ass sign. It's a big ass sign that says Lakeland Drive, Carthage, Mississippi. It's 23 miles. What are you talking about?
Check this out, bro.
I know about free lawn.
No. That's like people from Pasadena.
Hey guys, I gotta pass the mic back to Chanel.
I'm not gonna have no Jew argument here, bro.
All right, Chanel.
Yeah.
That's why you don't even. First you said you was from Jackson, then you from Carthage, then you say you from Terry. Check this out. None of them starts with a J. Jackson.
Bro, I don't have to argue with your broke ass. I don't know who the fuck you are. Please.
All right, well, let me pass the mic. So go ahead, Chanel.
Yeah. So I just thank you. I wanted to thank you, Maximilian, because to address Quincy, you did say, that it's a handful of Caribbean people that, I'm sorry, I am from New York, so I will be talking a little fast, but it's a handful of Caribbean people that contributed to Black American culture and all this and that, but there's more than a handful of Caribbean people. Caribbean people have been here since the 1700s. The intra-transatlantic slave trade did happen. There was a slave trade between the Caribbean, America, Brazil, back and forth just like that. So to say that, Caribbean people, didn't really contribute is false. And I was just here just to talk about the misinformation as a person who has a Black American FBA father, God rest his soul, and a Trinidadian mother who's sitting right next to me. my Black American family they've fought in World War I. They're from Belhaven, North Carolina. Spencer is their last name. So I can't speak on this. So I'm just saying that, with history and doing proper research, Caribbean people have contributed and are still contributing to Black America. And nobody not fighting. And no one's.
I'm responding.
And all you gotta do is pick up a history book to know that.
Okay, cool. Let me respond.
Just pick up a history book.
Max,
I ain't gotta tell you. She ain't gotta tell you.
Max, I'm gonna respond to you in a second, Max. Chanel, I acknowledge the Caribbean people in our history that contributed. What I said was, because you always bring up the same people. Was Marcus Garvey, Stokely Carmichael. Y'all try to claim Malcolm X as if his daddy wasn't Black American. It's always the same handful of West Indians that's always being mentioned. What I said was ultimately that Caribbeans act like because a handful of significant. I'm not saying that y'all wasn't down like that, but y'all weren't here in the numbers. Y'all weren't here like that. But like what they said all the time, before 1965, the Black immigrants was like 0.01%. So y'all weren't here like that prior to 1965. And the second thing, my ultimate point was, just because a handful, we'll give you 10 significant Caribbeans did something, that doesn't give the whole West Indies, all the West Indian countries, carte block access and entitlement to Black American culture and everything that we got. That's my point. Can
I come back?
Let me hold on.
You're repeating yourself.
No, I got
You've said it 3 times now, and you're not getting any further.
Yo, I wasn't even talking to you. I'm talking to Max.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Let me respond
Let
to
him
Max.
finish.
I wasn't even talking to you, boy. I'm talking to Max.
Blah, 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 blah. You fucking idiot.
So
Hey,
Max,
Dennis, okay, I'll respond to this. I'll respond.
Max,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let me pass the job. I gotta pass the job. Boom.
let me get Max. Max has said something. Let me get Max real quick. 2 seconds.
30
Max said
seconds,
that
go ahead.
Max said that the essence of blackness, so anybody can own essence. Dude, that's the problem with using internal language. When you're using internal language, you use shorthand. So we just say black. We don't say black Americans who come from slavery because we're talking to each other. So we say black. Essence is black American. If you take everything a black American out of essence don't exist, brother. So don't act like essence wasn't created for and by black Americans.
And
So
if you take, and let me say this.
I just want to
Hey,
pass.
Dennis, let me say this one thing. And if you take African out of me, black Americans don't exist. Stop being foolish.
All right, let me pass the job. Boom. Go ahead, job.
Thank you. You know, again, I've been Dennis. I must say, I've been listening to many of our conversations, global conversations that we're having around blackness, black people in the world and in the diaspora, and Africans as a word and a name. And it horrifies me how it seems that the African American is at war with the rest of us. Why do you have to be nobody's at war with African Americans, but they feel so panicked. All African Americans in the main are so panicked, like this guy on the program at the moment, so panicked and protectionist about what it is that they call black. Black is a political term. It is not who you are.
Don't tell me who
if
I
you
am.
have to wait, let me. I've got to finish. I've got to finish. I've got.
It's not who you are.
I ain't telling you none. You don't have to listen. You know everything that he said. Everything that he said is a war to you. Everything that. All right. Everything that you said it. Don't repeat yourself. Nobody's stupid here.
You need to understand.
Nobody is stupid here. Nobody. So I'm telling you, Dennis, can I finish? Dennis, you gotta moderate. I've got to finish. The way I see it, I do not understand why an African American, so to speak, is so panicked against the rest of the black world. We are in this world. Wait, let me finish. Let me finish. We are so impacted in this world, and we have so many different enemies. But somehow, the black American is making more enemies out of us. For what reason is beyond me. I'm trying to understand. If you know what the Caribbean is, I'm an African, I'm a Nigerian, growing up in the UK. If you understand what a Caribbean is, then you would understand how central the Caribbean is to our blackness. In terms of all the things that begun in that place they call the West Indies. It is not just the 1 or 2 or 10 or 15 serious practitioners of our development and our emancipation comes from the Caribbean. Every single Caribbean that I know and grew up with has this ethos, has this culture, has this understanding of oppression. That's what it is. For you to dare to say that, oh, some of them did, but the rest of them don't take no credit because they're just black. Oh, I can't believe what you're saying. Do you know what it is to be in a community? Do you know what it is to raise a culture? Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is to have a global stronghold in this world? You, my friend, you, my stupid friend, are just taken away from what we have built. You are taken away from the strengths and the talents in the Americas as a whole. You are spewing. I haven't finished my fool. I haven't finished. You are spewing dogma that doesn't belong to us. You are spewing the fact that you so tailor closely to the white American. You are more close to the white American than you are to the rest of us in Africa. Because I'm in the UK, doesn't matter. You have to be somewhere. You have to be some. You're a fool. You're an idiot. That's not an argument. That is not an argument. The fact that I'm a Nigerian, stupid. Don't push in. Don't push in, stupid. Stupid, rubbish,
Can
man.
you pack it up
No,
though?
no,
Because you've
no,
been
no,
going
finish,
for a
y'all.
while.
Let me finish up.
You've been going with the
What, Mike?
rubbish
Hey,
for a long
okay,
time.
guys. So who's
Let
gonna
me, Dennis. Let me finish up because my guy is constantly interrupting me.
hold, Jagoon, you got 1 minute, guys. Do not interrupt him. You got 1 minute.
What you shouldn't allow, Dennis, is the kind of ignorance that is displayed here. You should not allow somebody to tell me that I'm
Jagoon,
wait, let me land. Let me just land.
You got a minute. So I'm saying this is
Okay, give me a minute. Give me the minute, please. Give me the minute.
Wait.
Thank you. Now, you cannot allow ignorance to overcome the talent that's on this platform. Because I'm in the UK doesn't depict who I am. It doesn't. I'm in the UK because you have to be somewhere on the planet. But I'm an African in the UK. Just like you're an African in America, just like you're an African in the Caribbean, an African in
I'm not
Africa.
an African.
We are, wherever you are, you stupid cunt. We are people in this planet. Yeah, I put that straight to your gut. We are people in this planet that have to make certain moves. Now, we can make them together or we can make them singularly. Those people who act singularly and foolish, like this character on the phone now, they need to be thrown out. They're no good to us. They're waste.
Who is us? Who is us? Who is us?
Us isn't you. Us isn't you. Us is not you. How's that?
I'm not you. I'm not.
I got guys. So listen,
foolish brother.
Willie, you're up. Willie, go ahead, Willie.
So I love hearing that. Right? It makes it that much easier to disengage. Let me be very clear. I am not an African. I am of African descent. Right?
Whatever that means.
That means I am of African descent. That means my lineage comes from Africa, but I ain't no African. Y'all ain't even African, right? You're an Igbo. You're a Hausa. It's not like Africa is united in anything. You find some very small pockets, but if you believe that me as an American black man need you, your country, or your continent for anything, right? You think way too highly of yourself, right? We've accomplished a lot over here. So when it comes to that term black, understand, this is where that term tether comes from. Because y'all are not black. Black's all we had, right? It was a way for us to identify ourselves here. Because again, we weren't Igbo. We weren't Hausa. And y'all will be the first to tell us that, right? But now you want to tell me, well, it makes sense to work together. Why would I work with you?
I didn't say anything like that.
Time we worked
I didn't say, you see, you're not tackling any of my point.
Again, the last time we worked with y'all, again, the last time we worked with y'all, we ended up on the bottom of a boat. With all due respect, I wish Africa well.
The last time we worked with you all. You forgot that you were us. You forgot you were us.
Hold on, I didn't interrupt you. And
yes, you did. Yes, you did interrupt.
And I'm not going to need half as long as you did, right? I wish all the Nigerian sellouts who left their country to go live in the UK like yourself the best of luck. I wish you all well. I don't have no issue with y'all. The only time it becomes problematic is when you come over here, attach yourself to, and capitalize on what I built. And I'm going to make it very clear.
You built nothing.
Very clear.
You
and I'll land here.
Nothing at all.
And I'll land here.
Dennis, why do you allow this?
And
I don't know why you allow
this. Yeah, you see, I got him, right? Ooh, in the guts. No, it sounds like you got hit in the gut, right? But listen,
you're an idiot.
I wanna send out a warning, and you can take it or leave it, right? If you care about your African brothers and sisters that have come over here and do come over here, right? The rhetoric you push, you might want to do that a little bit less, because I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of anti-African sentiment growing in America, right?
Who gives a fuck?
It really is. Yeah. You don't care because you are over there nestled up with the king and the queen.
Well, I trust my Africans, man. They can look after themselves.
You're over there having a spot of tea. So I know when you want to say we align with whiteness, no. You're over there having a spot of tea. What I'm saying is, if you care about your African people who come here and live in our communities, right? We all live around each other, but that African sentiment is growing. When an African gets busted in your head, it's going to be much less my fault than yours because of your rhetoric.
Willie, stop. Stop it. Don't take these people serious. Don't take these people serious.
I'm not being honest, though.
Yeah, let me. I gotta pass. Let me pass the record, guys. I gotta walk to the school and pick up my son, so I'll be gone for like 15 minutes. But Rokoya, I would
Sure,
say,
sure, guys.
go ahead. I'll be right back.
Greetings, greetings. I'm greeting you all from Accra, Ghana. I wish everybody's well. I had to jump into this conversation because once again, we are seeing a lot of misinformation, disinformation, emotional outbursts, and a lot of really crazy stuff, to be honest with you. And it really saddens me because I have, like most people here, I can be accused of somebody who's benefited from America because I came into America when I was pretty young. I stayed there, and a couple of years ago, I decided it was time to take my African, so-called African ass back to Africa and try to contribute. But one of my experiences in America was being able to really, really integrate with African Americans. I deliberately looked out and reached out and actually wanted to be a bridge because I realized there was a lot of misunderstanding. Some Africans really come into the US, and in the initial stages of their coming, they succumb to the popular culture, which is what we in Africa are fed. And I was a victim of that too, because when you come into the US, and I came young enough to go into the school system, we are informed by the overall popular culture that African Americans who look like me, who I knew a little bit of the history, that they were violent, they were criminal. The schools advised us to stay away from certain communities. And we actually, out of fear and lack of understanding, kept ourselves to ourselves. But as we became more aware of the struggle and read up on history, I really, really, and not only me, but lots of Africans, we reach out, we integrate, we volunteer, we work, and I was able to enjoy the richness of the African American culture. But there's something that has to be said. The African American culture that is currently undergoing transition, and is an attempt is being made to delineate because of the particular experience of slavery. It is a subset of what our people, African people, by the way, what they accomplished by trying to adjust to this foreign environment. They did this under oppression by I would say Euro
Yeah,
culture.
but
So
it says a lot that the only group of people that ever produced like an industrialized class are descendants of slaves in America. It doesn't
please,
say
you
something.
don't interrupt me, please, Carla. I will let you speak. I'm
Oh
trying
yeah,
to build something. I'm trying to say something. Just let me say it. The reality is that African Americans benefited by being associated with this culture of Europe, which forced them, literally
Simple.
forced them to build something. We did not build on our own ethos, we built for them. We built under
No.
their pressure. Please stop. Don't interrupt me, please, because when I keep quiet, I won't interrupt you. The problem is no African got onto that ship willingly and said, I'm going over there to build for these people. They were forced. And I am speaking to those who can identify with the Africans, because some of you are not Africans. You say you're native, and I respect what you call yourself. But I'm talking about the people who acknowledge that their ancestors, who never gave up on their African identity, who never gave
Absolutely.
up on being Igbo or Ga or Ewe. In fact, when you go to the South Americas and Brazil, these people literally ran and entered into jungles and became maroons because they wanted to retain what was theirs and what they were. So please, when we try to say these things,
Sounds
I
like
know
a
there's
place
a
to
lot of
immigrate to.
emotion speaking, but I'm an immigrant. I've never denied being an immigrant.
No, no,
But at
no.
the
I
same
said I
time,
said Brazil sounds like a place to immigrate to, right?
I mean,
Because we
there are
don't
so
feel the
many
same way the
people in
Brazilians feel.
Brazil. There are many, 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 many people in Brazil who came from Africa, and many African Americans who were sold back to Brazil. It was back and forth. The truth of the matter is this: my people, suffering oppression. It is the human condition does not change whether you are suffering in Africa or you're suffering in America or you're suffering in Haiti. The human body suffers. And so nobody's suffering under European domination can be deemed as worse or better. When you are hungry, you are hungry. When you eat, you eat. And I really disdain this attempt at saying, well, because I experienced my suffering here, I am a more apex black person, or I am a smarter black person, or I am more entitled to this. If you have a reparation argument, reparation, we will support you. But that does not necessarily have to create a violent disagreement between our peoples. Because I'll tell you what, if you look at all the communities that also have had some level of domination by Europe, they are not doing this. They are putting themselves together and trying to ultimately overturn their laws in history. So my position here is this. It is enough of this crazy talk. We're trying to score points on the internet. You want to come and say, yeah, I got you. I said all this and I won. What did you win? Nothing. You're on the internet where you're an anonymous person. It's not putting no money in your pocket except into the pocket of a YouTube person who is probably, and more power to them that they can make money out of this medium. But at the end of the day, most of you are anonymous. You are carrying names that are not yours. I have gone into being invisible. At the end of the day, what are you doing to improve not only your own personal family opportunities, but to improve we as a group? Because trust me, the globe
So can we
is
answer that
marked.
question?
Yo,
Can we
Tyler,
answer that
mute your
question,
mic,
Queen?
man.
I'm about to land. I'm
Mute your
about
mic,
to land
Tyler.
in 2 seconds.
I mean, she just talked for like
Please.
15 minutes straight.
I am about to land. And what I'm telling you is this. The world, as you all know it, is changing. We are seeing the conflict. You got to build something somewhere. You have to have plan B somewhere. I don't care where it is. You need to make sure your families are versatile. Your families can find refuge where they can. They're accumulating, they're building legacy. And on this, I pretty much land. Thank you for listening.
I don't think I think part of the problem and part of the reason why you all get so much pushback is Black Americans are tired of people coming over here telling us what we need to do and what we should do. You know, in our
Rubbish
country.
talk. Robbie, what's the point? You're
No, hold
tired.
on.
Don't worry
Nobody
about tired.
interrupted you. Come
Your
on, bro.
tiredness is
Respect
going
him,
to
man.
stop me from doing what I'm doing.
Come
Because
on,
you're
bro.
tired.
Respect him, bro.
No, I
Let him
can't
speak.
respect
But
that.
yeah,
What is his
yo,
tiredness
Jargon,
has to do with my
Jargon, man.
movie?
He gave
Jargon,
you
you
advice.
gotta listen, man. You gotta listen. And I
Listen
think
to
the
what?
conversation you shifting the conversation. The original conversation was about the Essence Fest, right? That's I was talking with Quincy and Big Brother Dynasty, the Prince, and he was basically saying that from Quincy's perspective, he felt like the Essence Fest should still have the essence of African American people because it's their fest primarily. It can bring in other. It's about the methodology of how they're doing the festival. Now you got the fake goon, black elite guy talking all this nonsense, but overall, that's a fair argument. Why shouldn't the Essence Fest have a solid African American theme? That's the main argument. I don't see the issue
Well,
with that.
let me ask
Yeah,
the question
he
though.
he
What
tried
is the
he tried to.
solid African American theme? What is it? What
It's
has changed? Because African American
What has
society
I'm
changed?
going
has
to answer
Are
the
you
changed in
question.
familiar
the
with
last
Essence?
20
Hey,
years.
hey,
Do you
can
follow
I say
Essence now?
something for can I
It's
say
New
something before I
Orleans
get out?
culture.
Yeah,
Can
let
I
the
say
man say
something before I
something.
get out?
Oh,
Okay.
Maximilian,
Sure.
Maximilian, what's up, man?
Sure.
And I'm gonna leave y'all. I love all y'all, but man, let's be honest, man. We don't speak for all African Americans. I totally, and I don't want everybody to feel like Africa. FBA feel a certain way. I'm not FBA. I'm Pan African. I don't see
Yeah.
myself separated from my brothers like that. And when we start talking like that, brother, when black people start separating like that, that's the way, that's the condition we've been in for 1,000 years because we separate ourselves like that. I refuse to separate myself from my people. Ain't no such
Who's
thing as
speaking?
well, let
You're
me
my
finish.
brother. Thank you.
Let me
Thank
finish.
you.
Who the hell
Brother,
wants to
I'm
brag
with
about?
you. I am
Can
with
I
you on that one
can I
as
finish?
well.
Can I be? Who the hell wants to brag? You think I'm proud to be a slave? People in the Caribbean were slaves. People in Africa was colonized.
And
Everybody
they're
got a
still
damn
proud.
problem.
And they're
Stop
still
trying
proud
to
to
But
be
let me
Maximilian,
finish, and I'm gonna go. Stop trying to
Maximilian, I got a question.
separate
Can I
yourself.
ask you a question when you're done?
Yeah,
Can I ask you a
stop
question,
trying
Maximilian, when
to.
you're done?
You can as long as I can finish. When
Yeah.
you have to stop separating ourselves like that. When you say y'all doing this, we doing this, us, y'all, we all black people, bro. When they go down the street, a nigga no matter where he go. The white cop don't give a damn about you, and the white cop don't give a whether you African or not. Stop trying to
But
separate yourself like that.
I don't base
That is
myself on what the
counterproductive.
white people
Hold
see.
on,
Let me finish.
Maximilian. Let me ask you a question.
Can I finish?
Hold on.
Let
Maybe
me. I'm finna
Let me
land, but
ask
let me finish.
Maximilian a question.
You're making a lot of points, brother.
Let me ask
But
Maximilian a question.
let me land. Let me land.
Go ahead. I'm gonna ask you a
Let me
question.
land.
Yeah,
So
because we
in
want
the
to ask
end of the
questions.
day, whatever comes out of my mouth, my brother is my brother, no matter where that brother at, he's
Yeah,
still
we
my
agree.
brother. And to be a
Bro,
brother, you got to act like a goddamn brother and stop that
brother.
separate shit. I can't
Okay,
stand
okay,
that. And
Maximilian. That's
let
all.
me
That
finish. I'm an African American, and I would never talk to an African or somebody from the Caribbean like that. You FBAs,
okay,
y'all messing up
okay.
everybody.
Hold
But
on,
most
Maximilian.
African
Messing up
Americans don't feel
everything.
like them.
No.
Max.
Most
Hold on,
African
Maximilian.
Americans
Hold
do
on.
Talk
not
it
feel
out,
like
Maximilian.
that.
man. Talk
Hey,
it
real,
out,
Hold
real
on.
brother.
Let
quick,
me
real
ask. Let
quick.
me ask Maximilian
Hey,
a
one at
question,
a
if I
time.
may.
Max,
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on. Let me ask
One at a
Maximilian,
time.
Maximilian a
you
question.
did a
One
Go
at a
ahead,
great
time.
job.
Safar. Hold on.
One
I
at a
got the
time.
floor. Let me ask. Hold on. Let me ask Maximilian a question.
And then
I
I got a
agree with
question,
you
and then
100%,
yeah.
brother. We shouldn't have the division. But do you think that the burden of that should be only on African Americans? Because your rant was against black men. What about Africans when they come over here and they separate themselves? What about when they have that Caribbean Fest and the African Festival and all stuff like that, and we're excluded? Is that the same thing?
You're
You have
not
the same
You know
excluded.
how
You're
many
excluded.
Caribbean
And you're
fests
not
and
excluded,
carnivals
Goofy.
I've been to, brother?
You're not
Yeah, I know, but
excluded.
hold up.
You're
Ain't
So
nobody
excluding
telling
hold
yourself.
you.
up, hold up, hold up. You know
Let
what
me
I'm asking?
You're
finish.
Hold up.
excluding
Color,
Let me
you're
yourself.
finish.
lying.
Hold up.
Let me finish.
A couple of years
I
ago,
go to carnival every year.
hold
Ain't
on. A
nobody
couple
ever
of
told
years
me I can't
ago,
come to carnival.
a couple of years ago, Google it. A Caribbean lady was going viral for saying Black Americans are showing up at our carnivals and all kind of food shenanigans. We just took it on the chin. Okay, they feel some sort of it. Maybe we should just back off a little bit. We'll
Because
enjoy
you
ourselves.
got one.
Color,
So
Bro, Collar, Collar.
you got one.
but
You
she's
got
she's
statement and use that.
she's,
Come
re-
on
so
now,
you got
she's
color.
one
repeating
idiot.
what she's
So you
hearing
gonna
from
blame
Yeah,
others.
all
I'm a Pan
Caribbean people for
Africanist, but
something one person said.
I'm
She's
sick of
repeating what
Black
she hears from
America
others.
only one that's getting beat up over this. We're all fucking up. Excuse my language, you know. Everybody's
Collar,
Color,
fucking
you
up in
stop,
the black
can't
stop.
world.
bring
Collar, please.
moments anecdotal
All right.
craziness to
The
reflect
principles.
how most Africans react.
I said what I
The
had to say,
principles.
y'all. I love y'all. I'm finna leave. I can't
All right,
continue
man,
this
get out,
Maximilian, you
man.
done well, brother.
Appreciate y'all, man. See
Unclear.
you later.
I wanted to, damn, I wanted to ask him a question. Damn.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question too.
Yeah,
He had the room.
I
because
love
I'm,
Maximilian, man. That was a bunch
amazing.
of nonsense he was talking.
Yeah,
it's not nonsense,
it's
Collar.
amazing. It's amazing how Pan Africans they always see Black Americans in everything that we say, but he completely ignored this boy, Jagon or Jogun or whatever your name is.
Boy,
Talk
you're
crazy.
a
Talk
fool.
crazy to us. You know what I mean? And Jacob, man, look, I know you're a Nigerian in the UK. I'm not gonna do the big tough guy thing on the internet because we're on the internet and neither one of us do something with each other. So we ain't gotta play tough guy, okay? Because we're
I
on the
know,
internet.
my friend.
We don't
Believe,
have to play tough guy. We're on
okay,
the
but
internet,
let
okay?
me just have a quick conversation with you, if I may.
Let's stay on
No,
topic. Stay
Believe
on
me,
topic, man.
guys,
you may not have a quick
please allow it,
conversation.
please allow it.
No, where are you
Between
from?
myself and the guy that just spoke, I'm not here to propagate angst. I'm a person in this world who uh, has followed the black emancipations of different countries, different nations, different peoples across the world. And it seems to me that we have more in common than we have in difference. Our
Well, you
differences
got to
being
tell your
highlighted.
Nigerian brothers that.
Wait,
Tell
please.
Nigerians that.
Our
Y'all
differences
should have said
being
that before y'all
highlighted
sold the trade.
as the main issue is the wrong way to go. It's as simple as that.
What
I'm
what
here
what what
to
what
create
Hold on.
a
Can I,
global
can I, can
community
I
that has
jog on a
power.
question?
but who are you to tell us
I'm
what
not
way to
telling you
go?
anything.
Come
I'm
on,
saying
come
that
on,
you're
come on.
wrong.
Let's stay on topic. Can I jog on a question? You got siblings, jog on?
Yes, sir.
So can you go in your sibling house and do whatever you want, or you have to ask and kind of evaluate your limits in their home?
Probably, yeah, I can concede to that. I understand what you're saying, but the thing is, my
Yeah.
brother, the thing is,
Answer the
we are
question though.
talking
Right.
about nations. We are talking about nations. We're not talking about my brother's house. if you enter into a
No, we are
nation,
talking about your
wait.
brother's house. This is your
But yo,
brother's house.
Carla, mute your mic, man. You got
People
static,
wait.
He's saying our
That's what
house
you
is the
don't
white
respect.
man house. That's his
What's wrong
whole
with these
point.
people?
That's what you
I
don't
haven't made
respect.
my
This
point.
is our house.
I
You
haven't
don't
made my
respect
point.
that it is.
I have not
His
made
whole point
my
is
point.
our house is the white
My
man's house
point
for real,
is,
for real.
when you enter into a nation
White man, I ruined
that
it.
has so many different ethnicities, that has such a strong and massive global culture and history, you are entering into a space where you need to fight for your own existence. So those who travel there to look for their money, to organize their way forward, why are you hampering them by telling them that they're black and telling them all these things? You what
I'm not angry at
So
anybody.
basically, when you get around us, you're no real asset because you got to fight for your own existence. Got it.
you have to.
Yeah, I'm
You
not.
have
Hey,
to.
I'm not telling
Got it. You're no
anybody
real asset
anything.
to us, man.
Hold on. I'm not telling anybody anything. But what I am saying is that you can't tell us shit. That's what I'm saying.
I ain't telling you shit. Apart from the fact that you're wrong.
You've been trying to tell us stuff the whole time you've been on the
What did I
phone.
tell you? Tell me what I told you.
But
That we gotta,
Jargon,
that we gotta accept
let's
some bullshit African shit, something like that.
Yeah, what
let's
we
You
stay
don't
on
even know
topic.
what I told you. You're just talking shit.
what we shouldn't be
You're just
doing.
talking rubbish.
What I said was what I
You're
said
not
was
able to
stupid.
listen.
You
That's
said
why
what
your
I said was
argument is
stupid.
corrupted. Because you don't listen, your corruption is too much.
Dude, you are a Nigerian in the UK. You have nothing to do with this
Yo,
conversation.
Carla, man,
You're an
hold on.
idiot.
Carla, you gotta
You're an
mute your
idiot.
mic, Carla. You got background noise, Carla.
Like you literally have nothing to do with this conversation. This is about the Essence Fest in New Orleans, USA, a Black American culture fest. It has nothing to do with Nigerians. It has
Are
nothing to
you
do with the
aware? Are
UK.
you aware that we are
No,
living
are
in a
you aware
global?
of what I
Wait.
just said? Did you hear
Yes,
what I
I
just
am.
said?
Yes.
Have you ever
I'm
been
saying
to
to
New
you,
Orleans? Have you been
when
to
you
New
talk
Orleans?
about if you're talking about essence, if
you
you're not
been,
wait, if
have
you're
you
not
been to
talking
New
about
Orleans?
essence
Have you
as
been to
a
New Orleans?
corporation,
Have you
if
been
you're
to New
talking about,
Orleans?
okay, I've heard you.
Answer
If
the
you're
question.
talking about essence as a
Have you
corporation,
been to New Orleans? Yes or no?
let me finish, my friend,
Yes
please.
or
The
no?
answer is no.
Are
The
you
answer
going
is
to
That's
let
a
no.
me?
no. That's a no.
I'm not in a court of law, my
Are in New
friend.
Orleans. I'm always in New Orleans. So
And what does
why
that
am
give
I
you?
talking to a Nigerian in the UK about New
Because
Orleans?
we're on
This
the
ain't got
internet,
nothing
you
to do
damn
with you.
fool.
Shut the fuck up. It got nothing to do with you.
You're an idiot. Anyway, in
Damn. It got nothing to do with you.
in trying to straighten out an idiot who
And
just
that's
repeats
the
himself,
frustration.
full of rubbish.
Why you not?
They
Why you not
always
Nigerian, my boy?
Essence is a global corporation.
no, it's not.
We
So
in London,
Essence is
we
a
in
Black
London get
American
Essence
publication
magazine.
created by
We've
four
had it.
Black
We've had it
American
for
men
more than
and Black
50 years.
American women.
You're
That's
an
what
idiot,
Essence
man.
is. You don't know shit about Essence. You don't know shit about our culture. I just told you it was 4 Black American men that created the Essence magazine for Black American women to put them on a pedestal and show them love.
It wasn't for Black
About.
American women.
Ain't got
It was for
nothing to
Black
do.
people globally. Because you
Yeah,
exported them.
I just wanted to add though.
This guy, Dennis, can't you straighten this guy out? I mean, he's a complete madman.
Dude, you still talking. You wrong.
You're still talking.
You loud and wrong.
Bro, have the conversation, man. Have the conversation, bro. Have the conversation. Go ahead.
He's not capable.
You loud and wrong.
Are you capable of having a conversation?
I don't want to talk to you. You ain't got shit to do with this conversation.
If you don't want to talk to me, shut up.
No,
shut
up. This topic
Listen,
is about
man.
essence.
The thing is, there's some things that are American. There are some things that are Caribbean. There are things that are African. And we got to respect those 3 areas. It's the American shit, there's Caribbean shit, and there's African shit. And its essence fall into the American category. That's just what it is.
That's maybe what it is. Are you saying that nobody has mouth?
Hold on.
Nobody has
One
mouth
time,
to speak about other subjects.
Let me add something.
Let the sister speak. Hold on. Let her speak. Let her speak. Hold on, bro. Let her speak. Go ahead, sis.
Because the co-editor in chief, Suzanne Taylor, she was she's still alive. She is a Trinidadian and also mixed with St. Kitts as well. So to say that it's a Black American thing when Suzanne Taylor, who's been the face of Essence for as long as I've been alive, I'm 34,
and she prioritized Black Americans.
Okay, but you guys are saying that it's a Black American thing, and then you're saying that she prioritizes.
It's a Black American thing that was seen in the Caribbean, that was seen in Europe and that was seen in Africa. The
It's based on
magazine
our
traveled the
culture.
world.
I got
It's
So
based on our
whoever
culture, bro.
looked upon it
I got a
has
question for
mouth.
Chanel. I got a question for Chanel. Chanel, if a Trinidadian buys a Mexican restaurant, is it now a Trinidadian restaurant?
Ooh.
No, it's a Mexican
Thank
restaurant.
you. That's my point. That's my point.
However, a
Ooh.
Trinidadian and a Mexican are not black.
That's my point.
A Mexican is a Mexican and a Trinidadian is black. Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. Can I ask you a question real quick, bro? Hold
If I start a magazine in Liberia, is it a Black American magazine?
Wait,
Can
Chanel. If a Trinidadian buys a Jamaican restaurant, is it now a Trinidadian restaurant?
It's going to be a West Indian restaurant, a
Exactly.
fusion
So it won't be a
restaurant.
Jamaican restaurant.
Trini and
So it's
Jamaican,
not.
because Trini and Jamaicans will work together to have a restaurant. You see what
Okay,
I'm
so
saying?
you respect the Jamaican boundaries, but you respect the Mexican boundaries, and you won't change it if it's Mexican, but you want to. But once
You have no common sense.
And that's another thing. And that's another thing. The Caribbeans and Africans, y'all coons, man. Y'all some straight coons.
You're a
How so? How so?
Just because you
Have the conversation. How so?
If a Trinidadian buys a Mexican restaurant, they're not
Caribbeans
black.
and Africans are coons. Y'all coons.
Open up a
Yo, hold on.
Mexican
Have the
restaurant.
conversation.
Trini would open up a Trini restaurant.
No. But all I'm saying, you acting like just because she had a position within Essence,
Y'all whole history cooning.
then suddenly that changed the whole demographic of who's the target audience. That changed the whole history.
I never said that. I never said that. I'm saying that she's working in conjunction with Black America. If a person,
to serve Black Americans.
To serve Black Americans,
Black America or working with Black people in general, they're going to center Black people. No one's going to ask in the real world. No one's going to ask to do a photo shoot. Hey, are you Black American? Hey, are you Jamaican? If you're Jamaican, I'm Black American. I can't take a photo of you. Or I can't feature you on this magazine. No one's in the real world going to ask that.
Jamaica was a slave colony.
Can I show up to the Essence Fest? Can I come to Essence Fest? I'm Trinidadian.
For the record, I've met many Trinidadians at Essence.
Okay, I just want to know if we're invited to the Essence Fest. We're not saying it's ours.
Yeah, you can come to the Essence Fest. Get your ticket.
To Essence Fest. I have no desire
Yeah, get your ticket.
Okay,
I said
you can get your Essence Fest, baby.
I've been to
Get
Carnival.
your Airbnb.
That's a funny thing.
Get your ticket.
New Orleans is fun. Hey, you gonna love New Orleans.
One at a time.
You're gonna love New Orleans. The food, New Orleans got the best food in the world. You're gonna love it.
Well, I would love to go. And guess
right.
what?
Mama do.
Everyone to Trinidad for Carnival.
Right. Mama do. I've been to a carnival with my Trinidadian friend before. That's what I'm trying. I don't know.
In Brooklyn?
No. I'm in Atlanta. There was a carnival, a little carnival that they had in Atlanta.
We don't consider that carnival. Okay?
Well, he's Trinidadian, so he's Trini. He's Trini.
Okay, I'm gonna let them know. I'm gonna let them know.
But you need to tell him that.
I'm gonna let them know. I'm gonna go there and tell them they ain't the real thing.
Yeah.
All right. I'm back.
Yeah, you got a little crazy, man. Your boy over in the UK trying to tell us what we should be doing over here.
Yeah, Jaguar right over here.
We're not doing that. No, I ain't crazy like Jaguar right. No, honey child.
Can I ask? Can I ask you a question, Miss Trini? Hold on, Miss Trini. Hold on. Miss Trini, relax.
What?
Hold on, but you just claimed the Atlanta. No. But you just claimed the Atlanta Carnival is not official carnival. Why is that? I wanted to ask you that.
Because
I agree with her.
That is not the
authentic
Trinidad Carnival. It is a. But you gotta.
But they're saying the same thing about Essence Fest.
But you gotta let me answer your question, right? There are plenty of versions of Trinidad Carnival all over the world. But if you want to experience the true essence of Trinidad Carnival, where people come from all over the world, you have to go to Trinidad and Tobago. That's all.
Hold on. Let me ask another question. Let me answer. But they're saying the same thing about Essence Fest. They feel like the Essence Fest is not exuberating the same similar elements as previous. So you feel like you have the right to say what is Panorama, what is Soca, what is all this, right? You feel you have the right. So do you feel like African Americans should have a level of how do you want to see the Essence Fest?
It's our culture.
Well, let me answer. See, this is why y'all have to talk to different people and not get on the panel and say stuff like that. I'm down with African Americans. Yes, Essence Fest should be yours because it was always yours. Who fighted to win Essence Fest?
if that's your thing, that's your thing. I can't tell only what to do with Essence Fest. Okay, so we're all not like that. We all stop putting
Yeah, but I'm
everyone
saying
from the Caribbean in a box. I answered your question
exactly.
already.
We in agreement
Essence
there. We
Fest,
in agreement there.
that was Black
Yep,
Americans festival. Let it be Black American. Plain
that's
and
all we
simple.
saying.
Thank
Because
you.
we would
That,
not let anyone in come and change up Trinidad and Tobago Carnival.
thank you,
All right?
See, that's
thank
my main
you,
point. That's my main point.
Right, right.
Because
And it don't matter.
thank
because
you.
because I'm
It
Haitian
don't.
American, right? They have Compa Festival, they have all these kind of Creole festival. They invite soca artists, they invite Afrobeat artists, but the overall arching theme is Compa, is Racine, our root culture, is Rabodai. We keep our core elements there, although we have other elements come in. So I feel like the same thing should go to the African Americans. The
Well,
jargon not talking about or just because you all brothers and sisters, just because you have a brother, you can't go in your brother's house and do whatever you want. You see what I'm saying? There's a level of limits and allowance that's in his home. You know what I mean?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we ain't gonna go to y'all spot
well,
and create a
that's
track fest or something like that. We
that's
ain't gonna do that. We
understandable.
respect you.
That's understandable. But y'all arguing over who had the best Jollof rice. When I looked at Essence Fest, it was Jill Scott. It was a whole bunch of Black American people that was there singing. Glorilla was there. I didn't see Kesteban at I didn't see Sparrow there. I didn't see Lady Lava there. So come on now, y'all have to speak and y'all have to be truthful. Not everyone
No,
is
it
on
was
that same
Tell them.
track.
Good, good.
Buju
True,
Banton.
true, true, true.
Buju Banton and DeVito performed on Saturday night on the main stage.
Well,
What's wrong? What's
well,
wrong? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
No, no, no,
What's
no,
wrong
no.
with that?
but
I
he
didn't say
wasn't the
anything
main
was wrong with that.
attraction.
I was just correcting her. She was saying what she
It
didn't
made it
see.
seem like there was
Well,
nobody there
okay,
from
I was
anywhere else.
there,
listen,
and I
No,
was
but
there
that's
when
a
everybody.
small factor. That's
listen.
called. That's like that's.
But see,
Go ahead, my sis.
what y'all men do is y'all keep speaking in a silo. I can only speak for me. I said I did not see any other artist. So yes, you correct me. I saw Buju Banton milling around the crowd. I did not know that he was a performing artist. I can only speak for me.
I
But
was just
y'all
letting you
like
know.
to speak for every. Well, thanks for letting me know. I stand corrected, but I could only speak for me. But y'all need to start speaking to what you know and stop pushing that shit out on Caribbean people because half of us don't even know anything about FBA or ADAS. We ain't even on that type of time. Half of us want to get our ass out of this country. So we ain't even got time for that. So please, when you're talking, speak in context and not just, put everybody in one box because it ain't like that.
Well,
Because if y'all come to Trinidad and Tobago, nobody's going to treat y'all bad. You're going to have the best
Exactly. We
time of your
welcome. We
life.
welcome.
nah,
Hold
we
on,
We
we
I
welcome.
got,
gonna do that.
I got.
Yeah,
We
Let me
welcome.
pass. Let me pass the mic
get
to
out of
Cuddy.
here.
Go ahead, Cuddy. Go ahead, Cuddy.
What it do, Diners? Big salute to you, Diners. Big salute, chat. And big salute to some people on the panel. Yeah, you see the difference between African Americans and Black Americans? Like they say, it's a lot of division in America. I'm way in Burkina Faso and I'm listening to y'all. Y'all know how sickening y'all sound talking about the essence of blackness. We are all one. We are all one. It should be a
Cut it
Joe
up,
Life.
man.
It
Cut it
should
up,
be a Joe.
Cuddy.
Let me finish. It
Yeah, I'm with
should
you,
be a
man.
Joe. Let me finish. It should be a Joe Loft versus Jambalaya. That
Cut
brings
it
out
up,
the
man.
essence in us. That brings out the essence in us. It's about our cultures as black people coming together. I heard the brother say, "Oh, if it was a Mexican restaurant and a black man bought it, would it still be a Mexican restaurant?" You can't say Mexican. You got to say Latin. It's different it's different types of people that speak Spanish, my brother. Now, see, for all my Africans and my people around the world, do y'all see how throwed off us Black Americans are? Because yes, these are my brothers,
Completely.
but we throwed off mentally. Just listen to them speak. Just listen to
Tragic.
them. I'm
Tragic.
over here like, boy, I'm glad I got my healing. I'm glad I'm off the plantation. Now I know. See, but it's a lot of us that still don't know they slaves. I'm sitting over here watching black people fighting over something they don't even own. Never owned America. Our ancestors didn't own America. And none of this new generation fight as hard as the ancestors did. So none of y'all deserve no type of reparations. From the old colonization to all y'all young dudes on here, it's generations of us that's throwed off mentally. Until you accept that you throwed off mentally, y'all won't even realize you got a problem.
That's blasphemy,
Me
Cuddy.
realizing I had a problem, I'm sitting
Where
back
you
looking at
from?
y'all, just shaking my head like, boy, this is a daggone shame of what my people is going through in America. We'll
Where you from,
rather
Cuddy?
fight each
That's
other.
blasphemy, Cuddy.
Look, we'll rather fight each other than talk about how we gonna get the white man up off the white supremacists up off our neck, because they still got us and they fighting amongst each other, and we still they slaves. The door to freedom wide open, and y'all still fighting amongst each other about who gonna stay on the plantation.
Talk it out, Cuddy.
The world is yours, my brothers and my sisters. You got to get out here and take it. Ain't nobody just gonna give it to you. So stop acting like a little weakling and get out here and take your world back. Because that's
Wonderful.
Yeah, respectfully, Cuddy.
Cuddy, man.
That's
You just came out and you organized them with your. So nobody can argue with your accent. Nobody can argue with where you're from, and you said it how it's supposed to be said. Thank you, sir.
Jay, only thing we can do is
Where you from, Cuddy?
the ones that's with it come, and the ones that ain't with it, let them stay where they at. Because they don't even know. See, the master and them, they all over the world having meetings, getting ready for the transfer of wealth in the world. Not just America. But y'all not even paying attention. Y'all worried about Joe Law. Y'all worried about rice plates at the Essence Festival instead of getting y'all situations together, bro. That's the most lamest part.
Brother Cuddy, I really have to commend you for what you have said today. I want to continue on your length where you speak about on a global level. Where are we as Black people, and do we have any kind of right to get from where we are to a point of safety and security for our people globally? And if we're not trying to answer that question, then we're on the wrong level. All people talking about you're in the UK, you're here, it doesn't matter where we are. Where we are, we have to understand that we are one people. I'm speaking the same thing that Cuddy spoke. I'm speaking the same thing.
I owe y'all for being
Cuddy, where is he from, Cuddy?
Hold on.
One mic. Let me pass the mic to Thomas, then I'll pass it to Willie, then I'll pass it to McCoy. Go ahead, Thomas.
Hey, hi, family. I hope everybody's doing well. I think what was going on here is a good discussion, but people have to realize everybody has an opinion and they're welcome to it. But the facts, you have to stick to facts. Now, when we talk about the Essence magazine, originally what I thought, and I'm 72 years old, I used to buy Essence. I thought it all started about culture, particularly Black culture in the United States. And I know I'm going to get some pushback. The only culture that started in the United States are the American natives and Black culture. After that, it's nothing else. I welcome people from Africa, and I love my African brothers, Caribbean brothers, Hispanic brothers, but they separate once they get to the United States.
Yes.
That culture that we have in the United States, it should be appreciated. And that started...
Black culture?
Sir, you know what? That's what I'm saying. Empty can.
Our foods, our
excuse
music,
me, sir.
Our religions,
sir. Can I finish? I understand why people like to interrupt people constantly. You would never do that to a white man. You would never interrupt a white man. They would get, hey, sir, you know what? Like you're doing now, they would put you in timeout. They would put you in timeout.
No, you in timeout right
Hey,
now.
Let Thomas finish. Go ahead,
you know
Thomas.
what? Well, I'm saying I've been on this earth for 72 years. At least give me some kind of respect to talk. I see this gentleman that's with the braids on and his T-shirt. He don't care about that. He's lost. He's gone somewhere. But respect your elders. I had a father. My father fought in World War II. He passed away at 101 years old. Black people have fought in every war in this country since the beginning. So at least give that respect to be able to speak. But, I'm just saying this to say that Essence Magazine is not going to be owned by Black. It's owned by Black people, but people within the country, because the white supremacy groups, they're just stopping Black people from owning anything. That if you think about Tulsa, about power, when Tulsa was the best Black community in the United States, it was destroyed by white people. Even though Black people, the image of Tulsa was white people, and they still destroyed it. All businesses started by Black people in this country has been destroyed by white supremacists. It's on and on and on. And I understand people from other countries come here and say, well, you know, you black people, because you listen to us and see our point of view. But your point of view is not black culture in this country. If you want to learn about black people in this country, study history. And I'm sorry, that's all I have to say. I'll just listen in now.
Man, you was on point, brother. Thank you.
But there are black people coming from other countries that do study black history.
To be honest with you, I'm sorry, ma'am. To be honest with you, I had the black studies in the 70s, the late 60s and 70s. It was taught by African professors. And that view was all from an African point of view, which is great. But the culture that I'm talking about that starts in America is black culture here. So study that. And then we can talk about... I'm
a college graduate, about to be a second college graduate with a second degree. And I have studied African American history within college, taught by African Americans in New York City.
Okay, so you saying you never had a professor that was African?
I never had a professor that was African. No.
Wait, my brother. Can I put this to you, sir?
Go ahead, sir.
You know, because America is what it is. It's a powerful country. It's such an institution globally.
Right.
We in the rest of the world have been watching America for a long time through TV, through so many different communications. Right. Now, when me being here in the UK, my first reading of African American culture after Roots was Malcolm X, and I read his first book. And in reading that, it burst my mind open as to how familiar a country so far away from where I was sounded to the kind of experiences that I was having here in the UK. Now, with this, I began reading more and more and more. So I'm very much educated. You know, sometimes America sees themselves in such a myopic way, but America is the globe. We're all involved in what's going on over there. And as you should be more involved in what's going on in the rest of the world as a people, not necessarily as a government. And the fact, wait, sir. Wait,
Well, Jagoon, I got other people on the panel that got to speak. Like,
I just want to put this to them. It's the fact. It's the fact.
Sir, can I say something, sir? Just 1 second.
Hold on, one mic. Jagoon, 20 seconds. I got to pass the recorder. Go ahead.
All right. But I'm hoping you're following me. I'm just saying to ask the question: Is it okay that many of us in the world are educating ourselves on what is American culture, because it's out there, it's there to be read. It doesn't matter who it's coming from. I'll put that to you.
Sir, can I answer that, sir?
Hold on. Let me.
Sir, can I answer that, please?
Hold on. You sound like a white man when you say it.
Hold
that
on,
doesn't define our culture.
Calm down, Willie. Calm down.
Go ahead.
I pass the Willie. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Jagoon, I just want to say one thing. Jagoon, when you look in the mirror, Jagoon, do you see a black man?
You see, again, because
I'm just asking you a question. When you look in the mirror,
when I look in the mirror, I see myself.
Okay, you see a black man. Do you see a black man?
Yes, I can say that. I can say that. But
when you look in that mirror,
there's more depth.
Excuse me. Okay, when you look, you know what? You can talk all you want. That's not factual. You can say whatever you want. What I'm saying is, when you look in the mirror, you see a black man. That black man you see in that mirror, that's culture. Black American culture. The most powerful culture in this world is Black American culture. You get your swag from American black culture.
Yeah, I'm tired.
You don't get that culture. You don't. Excuse me. You don't. What you mean? Hold on. I thought I was talking.
The thing is, you're not answering my question.
I'm still talking.
Y'all, be quiet.
I'm still talking. God dog.
This is the host talking. Why do black people like reduce and limit their excellence to freaking swag?
Because we created it. Because we created it. That's why.
Jesus,
it comes from nothing.
I can't.
And he's 75.
We created it.
Swag.
We created it. That's why. I mean, nobody else created it. We created it.
Man, I don't want swag.
Yes,
What
you
you
do.
want, man, brother? What you want? What you want? You want
Damn,
money?
listen, man.
You want the white man money?
Why we
We
gotta
got swag.
reduce? We just black people are just reduced to swag.
No,
God,
no.
Okay.
Excuse me.
What are the Indians reduced to?
Go
What do we
ahead,
You
reduce
see,
McCoy.
Indians
I
to?
thought my question. I thought my question. I thought my question was pretty deep.
I'm passing the mic to Rokoya. Go ahead, Rokoya. Unmute yourself,
Thank
Rokoya.
you again. Yeah, I to add to what Mr. Toddy was saying. I mean, it seems so obvious, but somehow it's lost onto everybody, and we keep on going back and forth about unimportant things. We're talking about the Essence Festival, and we're talking about what transpired there as if it happened in a vacuum. All of a sudden, suddenly, the Africans took over and they changed the culture when in fact, we heard from somebody earlier who said he'd been going to the festival since the early 2000s, and it was already changing. It was changing in response to the changes that are happening in the culture in general, the outward culture. The sense culture is just a manifestation of what has been happening already. And so
No.
that they had wait a minute, please. Before I left back to Ghana, I owned with an African American, and I like to say that because y'all say we don't help, we don't coordinate, we don't collaborate. My business partner in Oakland, California, we owned a hair, we owned a hair salon, and also we produced hair wigs and covers and therapeutic wigs and all that. And basically, when we went to the hair shows, they began to change. She told me, because she was an older woman, she told me it used to be more Black people. It had all these fanfare. And by the time we started going in the 2000s, the Koreans had moved in. They owned the hair, the entire distribution channel. And African American communities saw this happening to the point where you couldn't even get some types of hair. And from these Koreans, where they deliberately prevented African Americans to access this type of hairs so that they could contain a monopoly. It's a whole new topic. But what I'm saying is this, my people, it is not the African or Caribbean who comes into a situation in which our people are already lack power, who is coming to change the dynamics for you. The dynamics will be changed when we, as the powerless, become powerful. And it is only in the powerfulness that we create that we can change the narrative. Right now, just because an African did not experience African American suffering doesn't mean they can't learn it through an African American. We may never experience it, but we can learn, we can listen, we can empathize, and you can do the same. Because suffering, I said earlier, nobody retorted. Suffering is suffering is suffering. It doesn't mask itself if it came from you because you're in Haiti. If they chop off your legs, it is your leg that is chopped off. So stop trying to go into this Olympics of, oh, I got this and mine is that and I got swag. Where did you get the swag from? If you look at Nigerians and you look at African Americans, I'm sorry to tell you, many of you just could
I
pass as
forgot what I was going to
Nigerians
say.
any minute.
All
And the
right, you get to
Nigerians
go
could
on and
tell you.
on.
And so what I'm
Hang
saying
out
is,
here.
let's stop arguing to make points on the internet. If you come and you're like, yeah, because I got you, because I said this and all that.
Can I say something, sir?
Hold on, I'm next.
Sure. I'm going to be quiet in a few minutes. Does that change? And I'm telling you, how does that change the scene for you in 10 years?
Thank
Come
you.
on, folks, let's grow up. And I rest on that. Thank you.
Go ahead, Willie. Go ahead, Willie.
I'm just saying we're over it. And like the blatant disrespect of it all by telling us that we need to do something without illustrating how it will benefit us at all. Like, I don't see how me putting any energy as a Black man with a Black family and Black communities and Black programs for my Black kids in America, what am I putting any energy into any other place for? I mean, by default, in most cases, You're probably close to my family in some city. So whatever I could do for them and we can do for those communities, you're going to benefit anyway. Right?
Right.
But to keep telling us we should do this or we need to do this, why? Why? I have faith. My, like, salvation isn't going to come from anybody but me. It's about what I do here, where I am.
Can I say
Right?
something?
Good.
Because basically the world's gone global. You said you guys are 40 million, 50 million. There's over 2 billion Africans globally, right? So it's only logical that they're going to expand to the larger black market. The only way element I agree with you there is that how they do it, the elements or whatever, but that's only natural. If you look at Donald Trump, he's of German descent. He's not the white person that was there during slavery. He's a white person from German ancestry that recently came. He integrated into the white system. Now he's leading some of the white groups, and he's the president of America, right? So the same concept exists in the black community. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
but what I'm saying is
when you look at
though,
yourself,
these conversations.
you're a wealthy elite. Why you're not rallying your Black American elite to go own Essence Fest? Why you're not rallying your Black American elite to go
We
own the
are
Black
there.
housing sector and
We are
hospitals and all
there.
that kind
We're
of shit?
throwing those parties at Essence Fest.
I
It
mean,
was built. It was built
So
off of. It was built off of Soras and AKAs, Skiwi to the sisters. Right. Like we're there. Right. Like black doctors, black lawyers, black executives. They're what these festivals are built off of. This one in particular. Right. So my point is simply right. I'm willing to work with anyone that's willing to work with me, right? But when I'm constantly told I don't have a culture, I need to connect to something else. Black men can't control themselves, this, that, and the third.
who told
Fine.
you you don't have a culture? You guys are the ones who
Everybody,
said y'all don't
every
have a
single
culture,
time
Willie.
I come on this panel,
God dog.
Hold
every
on, Willie, hold
African,
on, Willie,
I ain't
Willie,
gonna say
Willie.
all of them. I'm gonna
It's
say
you guys who say that,
95% of the continental Africans
when have we ever said we ain't have no
that
culture,
come on
bro?
here
bro.
leave with that
If you listen to that,
assessment.
hold on, Willie. It's you people, the African Americans who say we don't got no culture. We lost everything through slavery. They stripped us of everything. They stripped us of our name. It's
We
you guys
lost, we
who come
lost
with
all
that
the
narrative.
Wait a
African
minute.
culture.
Jamaicans
Hey,
never
can
I
I
say
didn't
say
hear
that.
something,
African
sir?
Haitians never say
culture.
that.
We
Grenadians
lost
never say
all the
that. St.
African
Lucians.
culture.
It's only you
I
Sir,
guys
didn't
who
hear a
say that.
single
We lost
black
all the
person
Afro
African
on
culture,
this
brother.
panel
Afro
say
Latinos
that.
don't even say that. You the only Africans that say that on this side is you.
sir,
So
can
don't
I
put
say
that on
something?
us, bro.
It's not African.
Sir,
Nah.
can I say something?
Go ahead, bro.
Hey, I'm listening to this, and the other guy was talking about his family, his black family. Those are all facts because he has a living experience. He's went through that for generation, and generation. The newer people that come here from the Caribbeans and their African descent must respect to you people, but you have not went through decades and centuries of racism. So black people in this
Again,
country, but let me
but
finish.
big bro, we
Let me
never
finish.
will though.
Sir,
You
why
guys
don't you
already
do this?
spoke, bro.
That's
Why
not
don't you do this? Why
true.
don't you do
That's
this? Why
not
don't you
true.
do this? Why don't you learn how to calm down? Because I notice you always interrupting black people when they talk. You jump in.
I'm
Is that
black,
because?
bro.
Is
You
that
saying
because
the
you from
false
you
words.
from? Is that sir? I don't. I'm trying not to disrespect you, but is that
It's because
because?
third
Is
world, man.
that
That's what
is that because you came from a country that you fled from? Black people in this
it is.
country
But
cannot
then you
flee.
fled from the
They
south.
don't know
You
how to
fled from the
operate,
south,
but
bro.
they
You
don't know how
fled
to
from the
keep
south.
each other. So that's
Go
why
look
they're
up the
third
black
world.
migration. You fled from the south. Don't come at me, bro. You fled from the south,
It
and
was
you
no
spitting fake ass
migration.
narratives, bro. The
Black
black
people came.
migration is what,
Black people came here as slaves. We were forced over here. We are not migrants. We are
There was
not
no America
migrants. So
before
stop
us,
that.
bro.
Stop
so
saying
why,
that.
why is it called the Great Migration, brother?
The
What?
great migration. The great migration was from the south to the
To the
west.
north, to the
To the
The
Midwest,
north.
and to
great
the
wait
West.
wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. If you want to learn some history, listen. The great migration came from all those black people that left the south to the north to the west. That was the great
Thank you,
migration. That wait a
Right.
minute.
thank
And
Wait
you.
a
when they
minute.
went up
Colonization was
north, and
effective.
when they went north, they ran into some old black people. That was
They
already
ran
Well,
it
there.
But we
how did the
didn't
when
go
blacks
to
in the
they
north treat the
ran.
people that come
but
from
we
the
You know
didn't go
south?
to
what? You
Haiti.
know
Hold on,
what?
hold on,
We
hold
Okay.
on.
didn't go to
How did the
Trinidad.
blacks in the
We
north treat
didn't
the
go to
people in the south?
Barbados. We didn't
No,
go
no, no,
to
no. How did the
Jamaica.
hold
We
on,
didn't.
Willie? Hold on, Willie. Hold on. How did the blacks in the north treat the African Americans coming from the south? I'm gonna mute my mic because
Well,
y'all know the history.
well, they
What do
put
you
them
mean?
all in
What
the
do you
ghetto.
mean?
They
Wait a
put them
minute.
all in
What
the
do you mean,
ghetto.
Street? What do you
Didn't
mean?
they call
Treat them
y'all
the same way.
backwards? Didn't they
They
call
treat
y'all
them the same. They
backwards?
treat them
When
the
you
same
Didn't they
way
left,
call y'all
Caribbean people
backwards?
treated
when
God
you
Americans.
left,
dog.
when you
Go
left
look it up.
Mississippi, your family told you when you get to Harlem, go to the Savoy and asked for a job. Blacks were helping blacks from the South. They were more than likely our cousins, right?
Bro, they looked
This
at
is
you guys as backwards, bro. Go look it up, man. Don't fit. Give me
Guy,
fake
my
news. This
guy,
shit
listen.
history,
my
bro.
guy,
You was coming
my
from the
guy,
South. You
my
probably was a
guy.
little crazy looking.
Sir, can I say one more thing? I don't understand why it's so difficult to study history. This guy just spoke. He talking about black people are against black people in the United States. That's all because of wealth. If you have more money, you're going to be around people that have the same amount of money. That's the way it goes. But
Yo,
as
people
far as
gonna be riding around and
the
think
guy
they're
earlier,
loud,
I'm
bro. That
sorry,
don't make that really no
I'm
sense.
sorry. The guy earlier was talking about California. California is going through a war. People are trying to deport all these illegal Hispanics because they are here illegally. The next step is to come after black folk. But it won't be the black folk that were the descendants of the slaves. It's going to be those people that came from these African countries. And if you don't you think that's true, if the 40 to 50 million black Americans were not in this country, the black Africans that came from those countries, you would be deported quick in a heartbeat. The only thing that's keeping you here safe is that 40 to 50 million black Americans that are the descendants of slaves. That's it.
They can get rid
That's
of
the
you
reality.
too.
That's
You can
very
talk,
true. That's
you
that's
can
a, that's a
talk,
key
excuse me,
element. That's a key
excuse me,
element.
you can
But can I
talk,
ask you a
you can
question?
talk,
Ain't no more
sir, you can
14th
talk
Amendment.
all you want about your history, somebody else's history. At this point, it
No,
don't
no,
matter. It
no. I'm
matters
gonna ask you a
about,
question. Can I ask
14th
you, big?
Amendment over with, old school.
huh?
They can
I
No,
didn't
come
hear
big
you.
bro.
snatch you up
Can
too.
I didn't
Say
hear
the
you.
wrong
you guys
Speak up.
speak up, Cuddy? You can't hear you, Cuddy.
14th Amendment is over with too, right?
No,
So
it's
they
not.
can
No,
they can come
No,
snatch
sir,
any one
sir,
of y'all
sir,
too.
sir,
It's
sir,
not over
no.
with.
sir,
It's being enforced.
sir.
So y'all
Right.
should be
It's
mad
literally
that
the
the
opposite,
immigrants
Cuddy.
came and messed up
It's
a
being
blessing
He
that
in
was
enforced,
on
Africa. He
Sir,
us.
don't
Cuddy.
know,
That's what
bro.
can I
told
say
y'all
He
something?
this
ain't got
nice
he
way.
ain't got good connection in Africa, man. He don't
Yeah,
know.
Cuddy is
Sir,
being enforced. Like
sir,
it's not being done away with. It's being doubled down on that. This
All
is
he gotta
Yeah,
do is sign
specifically for the
off.
descendants of slaves.
thank you.
But
yeah. That's what
No,
big
that
bro,
that
can I
Thank
ask
that
you a
you.
means
question?
a blessing that you had that our ancestors fought for is over with.
okay.
I
Well,
wouldn't
you
say
stay in
that, but
Africa,
big
bro.
bro, can I ask the
The
older brother,
immigrants
the
messed
seven
that
year
Cuddy
up
old,
for
wilding
us.
today, man.
Oh, they
the
did.
big bro, can I ask him a question real
Naturalized
quick?
citizens, all y'all who are naturalized citizens like myself,
Yo, you
they
got
can
your
tell me
hands
not
on
to
a
come
bad
back.
Burkina Faso pack, man. You got a bad pack. You wilding today.
But
Right.
big bro,
Too much
the
fertilizer.
S. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because you were saying something along the lines that basically that we have to know the pain and suffering of African Americans. But to be honest, you just highlighted how African Americans vote and gain more rights and more opportunity, not to only African Americans but to all. So why is that a rubric of us being included in SFS or whatever else? If you guys already broke down a lot of the doors, don't you contradict yourself?
Because there's a thing called history, right? So history is something that's built on. We are at a point in history. And at this point in history, Black Americans feel very cheated, right? Feel very disrespected, right? And simply chose to say, you know what? We just want to establish the same way you guys do at the Jamaican picnic, the same way the Nigerians have the Nigerian things. We wanted to say, look, we just want to go over here and do our own thing for a minute. And that was an uproar that was felt all over the world. Now, all of that pushback is only infusing, making it make more sense of why, yeah, we need to do our own thing because these people aren't really concerned with our best interests. They've been using us before, they're using us now, and they'll use us tomorrow.
And
Do you
another
Isn't
get
thing
that
an
a
is,
fake
instance
and
of
narrative?
another
That's
how?
a
thing is,
fake
they're trying to
narrative,
make
though.
us.
Give you an
They trying
How
to
are we
make
instance
us.
of
using
how
it?
they
Hey,
If
fought?
not, we should be able to show you.
Willie, are you done? Because you got to pass it to Aries.
I
You done,
mean,
Willie?
if not, then if it's not a thing of there's some benefit to us, if you're not using us,
Well,
right?
one
Then
second, Willie. A
hold
thousand
on, hold on,
percent. You
hold on.
oh
I'm gonna
no,
land
well,
this.
I will. I'm trying to hold on. 1,000%. You got a lot of background noise. You're on your Obama phone. You gotta just mute up for a minute. Go ahead, Willie.
You see? And as I wrap up before my Patrice Lumumba battery dies, after the disrespect, right? Like at the end of the day, man, we our salvation isn't, incumbent upon anyone else to get involved. And I would say the same thing to each of you all, right? Figure it out where you are and make yourself worth being an ally, and we would have no choice but to rock with you. Right now, we see no benefit. Intelligent blacks that actually do read books, right? When we listen to what Claude Anderson says and look back, he was 100% right. We're at a point now where we're the second minority. So we got these Mexicans to worry about too, right? And y'all not
Facts.
helping. And y'all not
Facts.
helping. So now we just want to disassociate from everything and focus on us. Apparently that's a problem all of a sudden. I have to question why. I think the problem is no longer being able to be used. And that reinforces everything we feel to say, you know what? I'm staying away from everybody. Black power. I'm putting the Habaragani
Will,
shit in my
before you
back
go,
pocket.
Will, can I
And I
ask
Hold
you
on,
land
this?
there.
Willie,
Before
before
you
you go.
go, you from New York?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm from New York too. So where's your family from?
I got a grandparent from Barbados, and the rest of my
Stop right
family
there.
is
Okay.
American South.
Okay, you just like me. My mother's from Trinidad and my dad is from Long Island. So when you say that people are coming over and not helping and stuff like that, you're from New York. You see what goes on in New York when Caribbean people come here, especially Caribbean women. Who do they work for? They work for white women. They work in hotels and stuff like that. They're not trying to undermine anyone if they're working the jobs that nobody else will do. You see what I'm
Can I
saying?
can I
But
say
you do
something, ma'am?
realize there was a time.
No,
Hey,
no, no, no.
You do
I
realize there
gotta
was a
pass.
time our mothers worked those jobs. I just wanted
Okay.
to respond to her and say that, right? You do realize there was a time that you can watch movies about it, right? The maid or the slave or whatever they're always depicting these movies. Those were my mother's jobs at one point. Those were my grandmother's jobs at one point. Now I'm not blaming y'all, right? A portion of what facilitated that was my mothers and grandmothers were able to elevate, so they got into the call centers and made a bit more money but I mean that doesn't speak to the moment we are in time.
But you also have to remember though, when Caribbean people come here, there is no Black American economic base for them to tap into. What Black American economic base is there for them to tap to
I think they all
so how
tap
are you
into
guys
that
feel
black base.
how are you guys feeling used? I could say us because I'm also quote unquote whatever this is FBA too because my father is
But
from
sis,
Long Island.
So look,
that's
every
that's kind
every
of
every
false though.
Caribbean
Yeah, I don't
restaurant
know if
in
he FBA
Brooklyn
for real, for
is
real.
tapping into a black economic base. Every hair braiding shop in Harlem is tapping into a black economic base, right? So y'all are
True.
very much
That's
tapping
like
in.
saying Jamaica ain't got no economic base.
Yeah. Like the dollar vans are tapping into a black economic base. So
But Willie, you kind of
So what
proving my
about the
point
soul food restaurants
because
where the
hold
Mexicans
on,
are
sis.
working in the back though and the Chinese people are running it? Jamaicans and Trinidadians, they open up their own restaurants in Harlem, in New York City, in the Bronx, in Brooklyn. There are Sylvia's that you don't have to eat from.
You don't have to go there.
So can I
I
say
don't
something?
know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Y'all need to do
I
better.
understand. I understand what you're saying, but when you talk about economic base, the economic base has been taken away from Black Americans by racism. I mean, you keep ignoring what happened before. Every decade, century, Black people had businesses. All those businesses were destroyed because they were Black. That's the
Hey,
bottom
Thomas,
line.
Thomas, can I ask a question, Thomas? Do you think
Yes,
integration played a large role in the economic base
I,
being
But
I
taken
what
away?
think.
about
I
now?
think.
What about
I
now
think.
though, Thomas? What
I
about
think.
now?
I think
I
what
already
happened.
know about what happened in the past
Am I
with
talking
Black
to her?
Wall Street.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, okay. You asked the question, sir. Okay. Look at California. California has about 10 million illegal immigrants, and people. The first thing people say, especially Hispanics that were here before that, they will always say, "Well, these people are coming to the United States taking jobs because other people won't do the jobs." Other people will not do those jobs because of the pay. The pay is so low, they're not going to waste their time on those jobs. The Hispanics that come across this border, those 10 million, they're not just coming across that border to pick fruit. They're not doing that. They come into these communities. to do criminal activities, not all, but the majority of them, and they're doing other things to get established for their people to come over here and take over California. These
And like
people
the
have an
sister
agenda.
said, the
Well,
Black
let me.
Americans
Can I
don't have an
finish?
economic
Can I
base.
finish? Can I finish?
Oh,
These people coming over here, especially in the West, they're coming over here with an agenda. It's called La Raza. La Raza means to take back the West and give it back to Mexico. And people say, "Oh no, that's not true. It can't be." These people are organized. They know what they're doing. I just hope we as Black people, I'm not talking about Africans, Caribbeans, or anybody else, you have to stand together. But you have to stand together to support the people that are already here. They're telling you, hey, this is what's going on in this country. Listen to me. But if you keep ignoring that, you won't be here. Because Donald Trump is going to remove you. He's already removing people from Jamaica. He's sending them back to Jamaica. So I'm just saying this conversation is great, and I appreciate everyone here. I respect everybody. But
big bro, can I ask you a question?
I gotta pass the mic to Aries. Go ahead, Aries. Oh, unmute yourself, Aries.
I just need to ask you a question if I can.
No, you're not asking a question. Go ahead, Aries.
No, you're not answering a question. You make me laugh.
Go ahead, Aries.
Why are Latinos and Haitians call themselves Latino now? Haitians and Jamaicans.
Go ahead, Aries.
Let me know if my mic is good. Is it good?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Aries.
We good? All right, cool. Yeah, just to chime in the conversation, I wanted to say that I could see everybody's point of view, but from my perspective, I would say that, like, to be honest, like, anybody who knows,
Hey, Aries, you're on your Obama phone, brother. You got to call back. You're on your Obama phone. We need you to call in on a good.
Can I ask a question, big bro?
All right, cool.
Let me bring on. Go ahead, Vovo. Unmute yourself, Vovo. Unmute yourself, Vovo. See, Vovo on his Obama phone too.
How could I ask my question by now?
Can I ask a quick question, please?
You see what I'm saying, Dennis? I asked to ask a question. Somebody else is asking now.
I asked before you, though, bro.
No, I asked before the last guy tried to speak.
And you usually switch the point. Go ahead.
Thank you. I wanted to ask the last speaker who spoke about the whole issue in California with the Mexicans. Given the fact that there are Mexicans who are and the history of the Alamo and all of that, Mexico, Texas, taken from the original Mexico. Given where America is going in the future, are you saying that it is better for Black people in America to side with the European Americans, or is it a question in your mind at all whether or not you should probably side with the Latinos or the Mexicans? I'm just asking. Can
I answer that? He's referring. Can I answer that?
Hold on, Thomas. Hold on, Jagoon. Let me ask you a question. Who are doing better, Blacks in Britain, Blacks in the U.S., or Afro Latinos?
I'm not sure about Afro Latinos, but if it's between Blacks in Britain,
Afro Latinos are doing 30, 50 times worse than Black Americans and Black Brits.
Well, there you go. There you go. That's not a problem. I'm speaking about numbers. And I'm speaking about the future of America, and whether the future of America lies, as far as Black people are concerned, with the European American or with the natives of that America.
These Mexicans aren't natives. They're like Thomas said, they're La Raza, a new race.
Well, I can answer that really quick. We're not allying with either side, right? But you're not going to convince me that I should align myself with this other side. Yes, I know what I've been through with the white man, but at this point in 2025, I know how to handle him, right? Now we on trial for killing them. I hope my little homie Carmelo's all right, right? But it's a different point in time, right? So we'll deal with them. But this choice you're trying to put before us that's a question for us to ask us.
No, honestly, I'm just answering out of my own curiosity, because I'm listening to everything that's being said. And as I'm listening, I'm thinking, okay, you know, when we look at America and what it was, what it is, and what it's going to be, this is
I
a
would say look at it
juxtaposition.
like this. Black Americans don't feel like immigration is beneficial for us in any way. Period, full stop. Not allied with either side. This just doesn't work for us. So whatever's going on over there, you know what I mean? I mean,
So are
we're
you
not
saying that?
full-fledged supporting it. You get what I'm saying? We're not even there yet, but we're not far from it. You know what I mean? But we're just not to look to us to get
Aries.
involved. It's disrespectful.
I'm sorry. Can I ask a question?
I didn't understand the end of that.
Earlier, Aries, when you, I think you just asked me a question. I'm going to answer it by saying this. I don't want to get too far off. My family, we moved in that great migration from the South to the West. When we moved from the South to the West, it was to the city, Compton. Are you familiar with Compton?
Easy as his name, man. My
Aries.
boy's coming straight
That's
out
not
of
Eric.
Compton.
It's Jagoon talking.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jagoon. I'm sorry, Jagoon. Are you familiar with Compton?
Well, I know of it. I've never been there.
I understand. Okay, well, I'm only saying to say this. My family first moved there. The majority of that city was white. Of course, when we moved there, those white people did not want black people there. There were protests, firebombs, beatings, everything else because they had numbers. Can I finish? Because they had numbers. So black people finally had numbers, and the Hispanics that were there, black people wanted to protest. The Hispanics there said, "It's not my fight." They did not get into those protests.
Okay.
As soon as black people numbers they began to get less, Hispanics moved back into those cities, and now that they're actively pushing black people out of that city. Compton used to be 90% black. Now Compton's like 20% black. That's all because of numbers. And when you mentioned about immigrants, black people have fought for immigrants. They fought for Africans to come over to the United States in the 60s. Without us, you wouldn't be here because the white people did not want you in their country. They already had black people here. They didn't want any more. So when people of African descent and Caribbean come here and they immediately listen to this nonsense of these white people saying about black people are this, they thieves, they criminals, it's all lies. But you believe it. You believe it because you want to associate with white people. So just stop that and say, okay, that may be an issue and try to have a conversation with black people here. And this is all this what we're talking about now. This is a good conversation, but keep that conversation amongst us. Don't let that conversation get into white supremacists. It would be worse.
Well, for me, if I can,
real
quick.
Killer culture, demon time culture. So that's why people migrate from us, from other countries. They believe what they hear because they see it on the music, in the movies, in the neighborhoods.
They don't see that stuff when they come here.
But what music,
they don't
sir?
see that when they come here.
What music? Turn on your radio. That's the music that your grandkids listening to.
Sir, can I say something to you?
Who your grandkids listening to right now?
Can I say something to you, sir? When you listen,
hold on, Elder,
sir, just one thing. Just one thing.
Who your kids listening to right now?
Sir, do you realize that all of the popular music in the United States was created by black people?
Yeah,
all of it. When you talk about, wait a minute, let me finish. Let me finish.
Something, OG.
But let me finish. When you talk about rap was created by young black people. They had no direction. They had no direction from the rhythm and blues, from the jazz, from the country movie, from the country music, from the rock and roll. They had no direction. So right now you see a thing. Sir, let me finish. Let me one more thing.
Come on, Elder. You finished a few times.
Okay, just one more thing. Just one more thing. Do you realize, sir, that 80% of rap is being bought by white people?
What is they talking about in the rap, OG?
Hold on.
What's the words being talked about in the rap, OG? You talking about who listening to it? Yeah, I know who listening to it.
What I didn't want to happen, Elder, was the goalpost be moved. What you said was they see that when they come here. I'm telling you equivocally, no, they do not.
Yes,
When
they
they're in
do.
Tyson's Corners in DC, like I don't even see it. Everything,
Cause you up
Little
there with
Dirt.
the uppity
Listen to
folk.
what I'm
You ain't in
saying.
the trap.
Listen to
You
what
ain't
I'm
in the
saying.
hood.
And
You
they
ain't
not
watching the
either.
news.
And they not either. You think
But they
Africans
see
are
it on
coming
the
in
Hold
here to
on, hold
news.
on.
live?
They ride
You
Can
through.
I?
think Africans are coming here to
Look
live in
all on the
Logano
internet.
Heights,
How
Yo,
do
Willie,
Brooklyn?
black
hold on,
kids act
hold
when
You
on.
they
think
go in these
Africans are,
stores?
hold on,
Come
hold on,
on, bro.
hold on,
Accept the truth.
hold on. You think Africans are coming here and living in the worst neighborhoods? I can promise you, my brother, they
Hold,
are not. They are living
Some
in
of
can I
them
say
some of
are.
the
something?
most, hold on. They are living in some of the best areas like Dilworth
Yes.
in Charlotte and all these other
And
good
why is
Not
Valentine
that?
all of
areas.
them.
But some of them
Not
also
all
live
of
and
Let's
them.
work
not
in the hood.
hold
Willie,
on.
Willie, Willie, no. You
Louis,
you
that's
go with
a
the fake
lie
narratives,
because
bro.
we
Yo,
from
I'm
New York
trying to
and
Hold on,
make
we're
hold on, hold on, hold on.
Yeah,
African. We
Willie,
No,
I'm
hold
not
on.
are
trying to
too.
ride a lie. Come
Yeah,
on,
Willie,
that's
man.
a
Willie,
lie.
Willie,
yeah.
Willie, a
Live or
golf
rock.
club, hood bourgeois dude, hood bourgeois over here, giving fake narratives, man. There's people that's working in the hood. Those are teachers, mentors, doing Uber, etc. in the hood. We see these things, and when we speak up, you guys, the FBA cats like you, pushed and lived in freaking
First
country
of all, I'm not
clubs,
FBA.
Yep.
I want to
whatever. And you
clarify
sound
that.
like him. You sound like him, bro.
All
And
right, well,
you in a
Yeah,
country
he
club
one of the
talking
black
that's
about we shouldn't
bootleggers.
say
because
nothing,
you
but you live in
confuse blacks
plush.
in general.
Yeah, he
You
live in
confuse
plush.
blacks. You
Nah,
don't know
bro.
who
No,
we
no, no,
are.
no, bro.
You
No, no,
don't
no,
know
no,
who
no.
we
But
are. Now let me
there's
tell you,
people,
I know who you are, right?
Willie,
When you make that statement, you're speaking either from Philly or Brooklyn, right?
New
I'm from
York.
Harlem.
Yeah,
I'll let
I'm
you
in
know,
both. I'm
right?
in both. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So listen to what I'm
But you
telling you.
live in Manhattan, though.
Listen to what I'm telling you. I don't even live there no more, bro. Relax. I still living in America though. Chill out, Cuddy. What I'm
I'm just
telling you
saying.
is, right? Some of my best African friends from Ghana, one in particular I'm thinking of right now, like he lives in a mean ass high rise in downtown Charlotte, right? They're not living in the hood in the doldrums. So you
Some are,
can't say
bro.
that. So you can't say that this music affects how they think. If anything, now they should understand, nah, the music isn't really reflecting what's going on. Because I promise you,
Willie.
nobody, 90, I'll say this, 95% of the people watching on the panel and listening are nothing like, will never experience nothing you'll experience on O Block. What are we
Willie,
talking
Willie,
about?
Willie, Willie. They
Bro,
What are
do.
we
There's
talking
summer
about?
pop-ups, man. There's summer pop-ups where the kids go to other areas and they show up and they shooting. It was a recent shooting here in Philadelphia, right? So what are you talking about is fictitious because again, all African Americans are not doing crime, but there's an element that does exist, and you guys basically the FBA crowd don't want
Again,
foreign blacks to speak on it,
Philly
and
is
some of us
wild.
are amongst it.
I
We're
agree.
right now,
teachers, we're
everything
I
got
can
doctors,
give
shot
we're
you
up.
a
lawyers, we're
bunch of
doing
Everything.
Uber,
neighborhoods
we're
in
doing delivery
Pennsylvania where
in
they're
these
black
areas.
and you will not see these things. That's
Oh
the
man,
point.
hey, can I say something, Willie? What I'm
No,
hearing is
let me pass the mic to Lou. Go ahead, Lou.
okay. Sorry.
Unmute yourself, Lou. Unmute yourself, Lou.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't realize it would be that simple to talk. Hey, I was just I wanted to ask the group, I I understand seeing the different I guess origins of black people as different groups, but my question is like where does that stop? If you divide it between hey, someone's from Africa, someone's from America, someone's from Jamaica. I mean, where does it stop? Does it stop at the state level? Does it stop at the city level? Does it stop at the area code? Like, at what point does this division stop? And when do people realize that, hey, we're all the same? When you're going through life, whether you're black, white, Chinese, or whatever you are, when people see you, at least here in America, or whatever country you find yourself in, they don't see the little sign above you that says, hey, I was born in America, or my citizenship is associated to this nation. They just see you as what you are on the outside. And from the outside, all black people, you look the same. All Latin
Nah,
people, they look the same. All Asian people, they now just understand what I'm trying to generally say is that there's no label above you that says what nation you're associated to. So you get the same treatment when you walk in the store. No one looks at me and people say, hey, I've been told that I'm from every nation and ethnicity that people can think of. I've been called Asian, white, black, Chinese. Um, and it's like, hey man, you know, just I hear this conversation, and it makes me think, like, where does the division stop? Do you guys think about that? And I think that,
Great question.
you
We
know,
come from a racist culture in America. Everybody racist in America. We the only ones do that
and
all
I'm
over the world.
and I'm gonna get off because I know these are
Called
sensitive
our
subjects,
culture,
man. This is
our,
like
our heritage.
culture, religion, politics. They're really sensitive subjects. I get it, you know, but
But it's truth.
you're right.
It's truth.
You're
But
right.
see, the problem is when people blatantly tell falsehoods. Everyone in America is not racist. I promise you that. Every white
Ain't your
person
parents
isn't
immigrants?
racist.
Ain't your parents immigrants? My parents been here. My people been here since the
Nah, both
start.
my parents was born here. I
You
thought
said
you was
some
in
of them from
Burkina Faso.
Barbados or the Caribbean, right?
One grandparent. One
Yeah. So you
grandparent.
know,
All the rest of my,
folks
all the rest of my,
was from the
all the rest
plantation.
of my grandparents
Yeah, I
left me
come from the
property in South
plantation. Yeah,
Carolina.
I'm a descendant of the plantation, Wall
Yeah, I
Street
am
Will. So
too.
we two
I
different
am
types
too. I
of Black
sold it.
Americans.
I am too. I sold it.
Yeah.
The plantation was left to me.
So
Literally.
accept that you
Literally.
come from a racist culture, brother. Just
I
accept
don't
it.
come from a
Ain't no
racist
argument.
culture.
Just
You come
accept
from Burkina Faso, and you're
No, I'm
trying to
in
speak
Burkina
to.
Faso. I
Hold
come
on.
from America.
Listen to what I'm telling you.
West side of Charlotte to
You
be exact.
clearly don't
When you
know
get off the
what's going
international
on.
airport, you got to come through West Boulevard. Yeah,
Independence?
my neck of the woods.
We're Independence?
Nah, West
Tuckasegee?
Boulevard. When you get off of
Tuckasegee?
Billy Graham, after you come from the international airport, boy, is you
Yeah,
listening?
they know me over there.
Nah, they don't know you.
They know me on Tuckasegee. They know me on Freedom. I mean,
Nah,
I
they
be
don't know
outside a
you.
little bit.
Yeah, know you as a lane.
I'm just telling you, Cuddy, you don't know what you're talking about. All white people are not racist. All black
I
people are
said we
not
come from a
racist.
racist culture, and you are racist. Whether
That's
you
too.
a
No,
good
I'm not.
racist or you a
No, I'm
bad
not.
racist.
No, I'm not. I may be prejudiced. I'm
So
not
you don't look at
racist.
color? Don't you look at color? Don't you look? Can't you tell a
I
white
just
man
said
from a
to you.
black man
I just
instead of
said to
just
you.
calling him a man?
I just said to you. I may be prejudiced. I'm not racist.
Racist and prejudice is
I don't even like
almost the
all
same
black
thing,
folk.
bro.
I don't even like
Now
all
we're in the
black
same
folk.
category. That's like
I ain't
a
racist.
Mexican and a Guatemalan. They both Latin, right? Come on, bro.
So can I say something, sir?
I'll be the first one to tell you, right? That word that'll get me fined if I say it. That word and onions make me cry, right? I don't even like all of y'all.
Can I say something, sir?
I'm just joking. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm listening to the conversation. All this conversation is good. It's a good conversation. But in America, America was built on racism. That's how it survived all these years. If you look in the Constitution, it's based on racism. And in even the women, even white people's own women, they didn't want them to vote. So they just discriminated against them. They didn't get the right to vote to 1920. And these are white women. Even after the Civil War, when then the black people were so-called given their freedom, white women fought against black males voting at that time. So it's on and on and on. So racism is not going to end. The only thing can end if we decide amongst us to say, hey, us as a collective, let's get together and let's discuss this.
Now,
Because
see,
if you
Elder,
have
you know
people
you're
coming,
wrong though on that, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said you know you're wrong on that, Elder, right?
About what?
Like,
Go ahead and tell me what I'm wrong about.
so you got to understand, right? Like,
No, tell me
women,
what I'm wrong about. No, say
right?
understand.
I am.
Okay.
Women in general in America, right? They literally could not even open bank accounts until the 70s. Right?
Okay.
Most people don't know that, and it's kind of shocking to think that. Like, dag,
Sir,
not till the
what? That's
70s.
not.
The
That's
point
sir.
I'm making is black men weren't in this subservient, can't vote position that you're trying to claim we were. At one point, like one of the biggest fears was that we were going to take over a major portion of the Congress. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about the lily white movement and movements to get us out of the Republican Party, right? We had a lot of success way before the white woman even showed up on the board. That's why she was able to benefit from DEI, right?
But Willie D,
She
you
was
gotta
able to
go look up
attach her
women's
issue to
suffrage,
things
bro. We talking
because
about
she
women's
really was
suffrage.
going through
Hey,
it.
sir, can I ask you a question? You saying
Go
that
ahead.
white women did not vote up until 1920, right?
No. No. Well, yes, I don't think they got the vote until, if you said it's the 20s, I'll go with that.
Okay, so what I'm saying is this: you familiar with what they call the black codes, right?
Of course.
The black codes were specifically in place to stop who?
Black men.
Okay, black men. It didn't stop any white women, right? And you said these white women were suffering all during this time because what? They accepted that. They went along with it. Black
So
people never. Wait a minute.
I don't want you to
Black people never went along with that.
I
They
don't
never
want you to
said it's okay.
misunderstand what I'm saying though.
Okay,
I'm
go ahead.
not saying that white women were suffering, right? What I'm saying is we can't deny the fact that there were many black men that were living quite above the average white woman across America. White women in America weren't in the best place, right? I ain't saying they suffering. I don't care what that white broad was doing, right? But what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying is I'm not gonna fundamentally put our position throughout history below them because it's just simply not true.
well, that's true. But I'm only saying this. I think you mentioned it before. You mentioned DEI and affirmative action, right?
Right.
All that came about because of who?
Black men.
Because no, it was Johnson doing the civil rights movement. He
LBJ.
was the one that pushed that. But my only saying is to say this: DEI, affirmative action, benefits the number one person it benefits are white females. That's it.
Now,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Number
that
two is
wasn't
guess
always the
who? Wait,
case.
wait a minute. Let me finish. Number two is guess who? White men. After that, it's Hispanics. All
That's
these
not
people that
true.
have all these what they call it?
Hey,
Dang.
OG, I got the numbers on it. That's not true.
Okay, go ahead to tell me something different.
I mean, yes, white women are the first ones. Then it's typically black Americans,
That's not,
Latinos.
man, bro, stop that. You know what? Even white people say this. They say that DEI, white women got the benefits of that. White men went after that. Then Hispanics, then the handicap. At the bottom of that list are black people. I mean, these are statistics. I don't know where you're getting yours from, but that's the truth. White people in this country will never do anything to benefit black people because of DNA. You know what that is? It means that our genes will always defeat white genes. They know that. So they never going to give black people the benefit because our genes will take over their genes.
And vice versa.
Nothing.
I'm sorry.
Never have, never will. Black folks in America ain't never owned nothing, ran nothing.
Because of
And if
white
they
people.
did have something, they came and destroyed it. And
Because
black
of
folks
white
couldn't do
people.
nothing about it.
Because of white
I don't
people.
know who
Hey,
you
And
bro,
black
talking
folks
about.
bro.
couldn't do nothing about it
So you've been in
then.
Burkina Faso too long.
Black folks
My
ain't can't
homeboy
do nothing
owns
about it
a
now.
hospital. My
You said
best
what?
friend owns a hospital. Black man. You've been in Burkina Faso too long. So stop telling the people we don't own nothing. We
What's his
own
name? Where
Ohio
is that?
Eastern Regional. We
You
own
on the
that.
hey,
Ohio
sir,
Eastern
He
Regional.
sir.
We
own
own
it,
that.
or
Yeah.
is he in charge of it? That's
We
to be
own the
determined.
culture.
Let me go back on
So
mute
can
because
I?
clearly
So
you
can
don't
I ask a
understand
question
English.
real
So go
quick?
ahead and do the Googles.
So can I
Go ahead and
ask a
Google it.
question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead,
Um.
Chanel.
So, so what Cuddy said was true. So if we don't own anything, or never have, never will, and to I want to pose the question to Thomas because he says because of white people. So why are you guys blaming Caribbean and African people, saying that
Sister,
they're undermining you?
sister,
Because y'all
can I ask you,
progress.
I'm not
sister,
You know,
blaming y'all.
black
Hold
black
folks
on,
in
woman,
sis.
America are some of the
Sis,
biggest haters. They don't
we
want the
went to
black woman, can
crabs
I
bronx
in the
ask you a
bucket.
science,
question?
right, sis?
It's
You
the
said you went
crabs
to
in the
school in
bucket.
New York?
Yeah,
Black
I'm
crabs in
woman,
sorry.
the bucket syndrome.
can I ask the
You
black woman a
sis,
question?
you said you
Yes.
went to school in New York, sis?
Yes, I'm born and raised in New York. I'm from the Bronx, New York.
It's
My
funny.
dad,
I
my
went to
dad's
school.
family is from North Carolina. He grew
I,
up in Long Island, and my mom is from Trinidad and Tobago.
so look, went to school on Bedford Park Boulevard, Bronx Science, right? So my best friend from high school, this Negro, I call myself, that's not the word, right? This dude literally just officially bought a hospital. I always have to push back against that black people don't own nothing, we haven't built nothing, figured nothing out. That's a blatant lie. And while that lie is pushed, the world won't respect us. No, we've built a lot over here. A lot of Africans come here and go to HBCUs. You could say whoever you want, name is on the deed. But black people fought and worked and pushed to get those schools built and those institutions in place.
Yes, Willie. Yes, Will.
So
And
Lost
did you
after
know? Did
lost
you
I'm always
know?
have
after
to push
Did you
lost
against
know?
that
after
lie.
lost.
Did you know a couple? Did
When
you
do it
know
stop?
a West Indian started the
Absolutely.
HBCU movement?
Absolutely.
But you know the reason why? The reason why those people came here and they realized that what was happening to black people here was worse than where they came from. So they started to align with
No,
black people.
no. Wait, Mr.
Hold
Thomas.
on.
I'm gonna just let
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Thomas
But wait a
finish.
minute. Can I
black and
speak?
Pan African movements
Can
in the
I speak to
Caribbean,
her?
man.
During the Gilded Age, in America, 100,000, even enslaved Africans and escapees came over here and stayed here, and even some from the Indies came here during the Gilded Age in the early 1900s, even in the late
I'll put it to
1800s.
you this way, right? Harlem 1920s, Marcus Garvey, and any other West Indian that came to Harlem or anywhere in New York City, right? They had to work with Black Americans because we all had a shared struggle.
Thank you.
1920, we were all going
Exactly.
through
Yeah,
hell,
that was
right?
that background when we came
Now,
from the
fast
Caribbean.
forward to 2025, people proudly come here and say they don't need us
Thank you.
Who says
Hold on,
that?
Willie.
as
Hold
they
on. Hold on.
participate
Miss
Who
in the
says
Chantel.
who
things
is
that
Miss
saying
my
that?
Chantel.
ancestors
Miss
died
Who
for.
Chantel.
said people
The
are
Can I
one
saying
say
thing I
that,
something
can
Miss
look
to the
Dynasty?
black
any
Chantel.
woman?
African or any West Indian
Y'all was
in
just
America
speaking,
in the
bro.
eye and say is
But
that
Will,
I've never
you're
profited
West
off of
Indian yourself.
anything your ancestors died for.
Can I say something to the black
But Will,
woman?
you're
Well,
West
look,
Indian yourself,
well,
though.
it's two different generations, bro. You can't take the old school generation because the struggle ain't the same. So this generation and the old school generation, you can't put it together. You can't compare the two. You wasn't there. You didn't go through that. You a whole different breed, if you know what I mean. So
So
you can't
Will,
That's
compare
literally the
That's
Marcus
point
true.
I'm
Garvey and them
making,
to
Cuddy.
what's going
That's
on
That's
true.
now.
literally my
Black
point.
Miss Chantel.
Americans don't have any
Can I say
leaders.
something?
My
True,
point is
Chantel.
literally I
Thank you.
can
Thank
see
you.
why they work
Thank you,
together.
True.
They had a shared struggle. We no longer do.
Yeah.
so
So the
Will,
new
I
No,
don't.
no,
generation,
And
dude.
I
Y'all,
don't
they
even
y'all,
have
don't
a
y'all don't
come
got
problem
over
with
here
it.
and
no.
say
Y'all don't got
they
no
don't need
agenda in
black America.
2025,
They
bro.
don't.
So
Thank you,
Will,
Cuddy.
I'm sorry.
Miss Miss Chantel. Can I?
I'm sorry, Principe. 1 second. Let me just tell this to Will. So Will, I have Bayesian ancestry too, via my mom as well, and we are related to the former Prime Minister of Barbados. So there are people, in the Caribbean that do contribute and come over here and help and come
No, we're
from
not
something.
talking about the bourgeois, baby. Yeah, we don't want help from the bourgeois. If you affiliate with any type
Why?
of
Why not? Why not? What's wrong with the bourgeois, man?
Out of
Yeah,
well,
all
the
the
bourgeois
movements
is the
in
whole
what's
Black
wrong with the
problem.
America,
bourgeois
the
though?
only ones that have institutions, landmarks, and things still standing is the Boule. You better think about that for a
Yeah,
second.
because y'all
It
keep
ain't
y'all foot
SNCC. It
on those
ain't
of us
it
from the
ain't the
hood. Y'all keep
Panthers.
y'all foot
It
on
ain't
our neck.
you're not gonna find anything left of those movements. So let's be careful when we're critical of those men in a time that we couldn't even imagine being in.
Oh,
I
hold on, Willie.
appreciate them
Hold
for what they did for
on.
me.
Salute to them. But what are they doing currently in 2025 to address the
Nothing.
needs of the African American collective? And you
A
want to
lot.
dance around that. Miss
A lot.
Chantel
So
is correct on one main thing is that a lot of the Caribbeans, whether you want to admit it or not, there's some of them are mentors or teachers, and they service the black community. We add to the middle class and the working class people. So your fake narrative that we don't do nothing and that you don't see how it's going to work and da 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 is fake. Because when you go to DC, you go to New Jersey, New York, Philly, Georgia. We add to the African
I'm
American
saying you
community.
could
You
be
give us some
replaced,
fake
bro.
narrative.
I'm saying you could be
Replaced by
replaced.
who? Mexicans? By
Like
who?
that same Haitian teacher could just be a black teacher, right? Like
Well,
it
okay,
could be.
nobody said it.
Listen,
Well, you
hold
trying
on,
to make
hold
it a
on,
competition, bro. This ain't
hold
no
on.
competition. I'm
No,
saying
but
you come with a fake view while the bourgeois like yourself is
I'm
at the
saying
golf
don't
club
get
and
it
on the yacht.
twisted.
The black
Don't get
community
your
day by
value
day is
twisted.
affected. Hold on, no, because
That's
we
all I'm
add
saying.
on a day to
Don't
day
get your
basis.
value to the black community twisted.
What,
That's
what,
what I
what the
think you
bourgeois
do.
doing? What's the bourgeois doing to address the need for new housing and
So the
gentrification?
question
That
is,
ain't
what do
doing
you
shit, bro.
consider the bourgeois? What do you consider it?
Bro, you
The
said
boule?
before 1970s, right? You said before 1970s that the
I'm
Dr.
talking
Benz
about
of
in
the world, the Africans,
2025.
the Caribbeans was clicked in with y'all. But in current day, y'all got no agenda. There's no current black agenda to
Who
tap
doesn't
into.
have a black?
And What's the bourgeois black agenda, brother? Tell me. I'll mute my mic. I'll shut the hell up. What's the new
So
2025
the
bourgeois black
question
agenda of America?
Yeah, that old Congressional Black Caucus. Yeah,
to
them
be black
bourgeois.
to be black colonist and buy up everything you can buy and sell it for a profit.
But
Bro,
but we
gentrification is
we the
going on right
participants
Next
now.
in it
question.
too, though, because
Next
What is the
question.
bourgeois gonna do for the gentrification, brother?
it's not
Home
about just the
ownership,
bourgeois. My mom,
Ain't nothing they
housing,
my
can do
mom
about
healthcare.
herself,
it.
who's
We're
a
gonna
What's the
social
bourgeois
profit.
worker, who
plan?
has
We're
been
gonna
What's
helping
the
black
bourgeois
people
profit
in
plan?
the New York
from the
City community
gentrification. We're gonna
within the
Bourgeois
profit.
fall in
shelters.
line with whatever white supremacy say.
Can I say something, guys? Can I say something, please? It was a sister. I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't know your name. What's your name?
Chanel.
Chanel. Hi. How are you? My name is Thomas. Chanel, I was listening to what you were saying earlier about, like you said, people from the Caribbean and Africa, they contribute nothing when they come here, and they do. They probably do. But I'm only saying
I
this.
never said that.
What did you say?
I never said that they didn't
Because you asked
contribute
me a
anything.
question. Okay, so are you of the mindset to say that everybody that comes to this country, they contribute?
Yes,
They don't got no
Okay,
choice.
I'm
That's how
saying this.
white supremacy got set up.
The majority of people that come to this country from other countries, they're coming to get what the country can give them, not what they can give the country. That's the way it is.
That's a
But
fact.
what I'm saying is this: when the majority of the communities come from outside the country and they come to the United States, they have their own little cities. You have little Tokyo, little Caribbean, or Jamaican, or whatever. For whatever country they're from, they start their own communities, and rightfully so. That's the business. But when people come from these black countries and then originally and come here and say, "Well, hey, I'm gonna separate from these black Americans that are here." Of course, black people in the beginning, they ignored that. They were accepting. Well, come on over because you're black. You're going to see what's going on in this country, just like they've been seeing for decades and hundreds of years. But even when people see that, not all, not ever going to say all, some, when they saw that, they ignored it. And they align with these white people. And white people would tell them, hey, yeah, you're right. You come here, we'll give you all these benefits as long as you separate from them, and them are black people.
That's
So
not
when
true,
Mr.
bro.
Thomas
Respect.
Go
Now,
to
can I add
he
go
on
to
to
DC.
to that?
he
Go to
addressed me,
Do you
Philly.
know?
so
Do you know what
he
Oh, go ahead,
addressed
sis. I'm
me,
he
so
sorry. I'm
I'm gonna
sorry.
made
I'm gonna answer him if
out
I
here in
Tyson's
can.
Burkina
corner.
I'm
Faso,
going to
right?
answer him.
Go ahead,
So
man.
Mr. Thomas, um, so when West Indian people and African people come here, you know that they marry Black Americans, right? My mom married a whole Black American for 20 years. My dad's dead. So that's a lie.
Respect.
Secondly, what
Wait a
benefits do
minute.
West
What's the
Indians
lie? I didn't
and
get that part.
Africans get? To say that they separate themselves, a lot of Black and West Indian people intermarry each other. Will is one of them. I'm one of them. So to say that Black people
Okay.
from the diaspora from other countries do not intermingle is a lie. Black people come and set up shops within the Black community.
But I do want to be clear though, right? Even as a child of that intermarriage, I never belonged to y'all. I'm the Yankee
Oh,
American
oh,
descent.
oh my God. Oh
Hold
my
on.
Lord. Oh my
I
God.
am the Yankee
That's
grandson from a foreign.
Hey,
that's
with somebody for the
Hold
Caribbean,
on.
please
Hold
come
on.
claim Willie. Oh
No.
Lord,
I'm
come
not
Willie.
claim Willie.
complaining.
Oh
Listen,
God.
I want to be
Willie,
clear.
no, that's not
I want to be
true.
clear.
Well,
It's
I don't know.
because I'm
I'm not in your
proud of
family,
being a
so but
black
that's not true
American.
because
That never bothered me. I
but
know when I get over there, I am the grandson, the Yankee grandson from my
But
father,
that's a
right?
term of
I ain't
endearment,
got no
though.
problem with that. I don't have no problem with that because I'm fine being who I am. So when I speak from a very black American space of how my other three grandparents
I'll
felt
tell you all you're not sure that.
outside of that one, right? Yes, there was a time when there was a need for us to work together. Again, we're talking about my grandparents. My mama in her 70s. So imagine how old my grandparents would have been right now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
At that time, yes. UNIA time, right? Do the math. Go back to the UNIA. Yes, we had a common goal. We had a common struggle. We worked together, right? No West Indians were coming here detaching from us, right? Just doing their own thing. No, it was everybody was kicking into the pot. The pot became the UNIA, and then things happened from there, right? I'm just saying we at a different point in time now. That shit dead. That shit
So
dead.
yeah, so that's your family. But when I go to Trinidad and Tobago, nobody calls me a Yankee. Everyone calls me the daughter of the soil when I go back there. In my Black American side of the when my Black American side of the
They
family.
greet you as the daughter of the soil. That's what you
Yes.
said.
Yes, sir. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But
I am the grandson from my father.
hold
That's
But
who
on.
I am.
Willie, my father and my mother Haitian, right? They look
But
at
no,
me as like a
let me
Westerner
finish
when I
my
go to
point
Haiti.
though. Let me
I
finish my
know
point
that,
So
though.
bro.
Let me
I know
what
that,
you
let me
bro.
Well,
you
let
want wet
Chanel
whites?
finish.
You
Let
want wet
Chanel
whites? You
finish.
know what I
let me
mean?
finish my point though. What I was saying
No, I don't
is
want wet wipes. It's like y'all trying to attach me to a land that's not
no,
mine.
I'm not trying to attach
I
you
have a
to anything.
Bayesian
I'm
grandparent.
trying to talk to
No,
Thomas.
go ahead,
So
Chanel.
let me
Go ahead.
finish with Thomas here. Let me answer his point. So to say that, Africans and Caribbean people do not intermingle within the Black community is a fallacy. Black people Black Americans, Black Caribbeans, Black Africans, they all intermingle and marry each other. They all intermingle and work together with each other. I have yet to see. I have a best friend who's from Tanzania. I have yet to see her say anything disparaging about Black
Chanel, you breaking
Americans.
out.
I have. Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you clear now. Go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
Okay,
you're
yeah. I
good,
have
you're
yet
good.
to see my mom did not separate me and my three brothers from our Black American family. We were always together. If anything, my mom says, "You are Black American, stick with Black America." You my mom my mom actually raised us to be racist. So um, I was never at a point to where I'm not gonna mess with Black Americans because my mom's from Trinidad.
Most Caribbean parents did. I know.
Well,
I know.
not my mother.
Chanel,
And
I
if
know they
Chanel.
anything,
raised you
my
to be
grandmother who's
racist. I
from
know.
North Carolina,
And
my
salute
grandmother
to
who's
you
from
for
North
not being
Carolina,
racist.
she's from Belhaven. My grandmother, she's from Belhaven. Sometimes she would say disparaging things. And on the other hand, she would say, well, I'm from Trinidad. I'm from Trinidad. She used to be like that. So it's all about group dynamics and family dynamics. I have yet to see African people separate themselves. If anything, they move within the neighborhoods of the Bronx. They move within the neighborhoods of Harlem. They move within the neighborhoods of Georgia. They move everywhere to be amongst Black people.
Thank you,
Chanel,
sister. Thank you.
can I ask Chanel? Can I say something to you?
Yeah.
As a Black person and a Black woman, respect, because you guys have it rough. What I want to say to what you're saying is, when I said that people come from other places and they look for what the country can give them to not what they can contribute to the country. Overwhelming majority of people that come to this country, they start their own communities. They stay in that community, they buy from that community, and they do everything for that community. Black people have never done that. Black people, and me, because I work with Caribbeans and African brothers in the past.
We
We
always did
always let
everything
me
for
finish.
everybody
Let me
else.
finish.
Like we fell for it when John Kennedy told us, "Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do." And we've been trying to do for our country, and we've
Yep.
been trying to do for the diaspora, and we've been trying to do for the continent.
Get the wet wipes, everybody. Get the
2025,
wet wipes.
we
We about to
finally
clap.
woke up to the fact that we need to do for self and let everybody else figure their thing
Will,
out.
do you go back to Barbados?
Of course he doesn't. Of course he doesn't. Of
I
course.
ain't been back. I ain't been back. Last time I was there was 2022. Yeah.
But Willie, even the essence, even back to the original topic, the Essence Fest, you see Africans and Caribbeans there as well. So the idea that we just go to our enclaves and we don't intermingle is a false notion, because even when you guys have your own celebrations, we tap into your celebrations.
I
If you
came
open the
to see
supermarket, we're gonna go
Buju.
to your supermarket, huh?
I
You said
came to
what?
see Buju.
May I ask
Don't
a
stop
question
at time.
with Willie when everybody's done? I have a specific question for Willie, please.
Go ahead, Rokoya. Go ahead.
Good, I'm listening.
Willie, I've listened to you on different of Dinah's show, and there's a central theme that you seem to repeat. So I'd like you to expand on that a little bit, where you talk about, the people of other segments within the overall Black community here don't really participate with the African American agenda, so to speak, or like, I mean, and the sister is trying to prove that we do, in fact, integrate and all stuff. I mean, I personally, I dated an African American, and I'm an African woman. I dated an African American for about 5 years. We just never really made it into a marriage. So I really integrated in this family. I learned a lot. I mean, I understood the culture. They're from Oakland, California, by the way. But I want to ask you something specifically, and it is, from your point of view, what would you like, in a practical sense, to see Africans, Caribbeans, and African Americans do together? I'd like to see some things that you have in mind, and even if you've attempted to do anything like that in your past. Can you please expand? I'm kind of listening, curious.
So the question is kind of hard for me to understand because my premise is I want nothing from the African community. I haven't been depending on anything from that community. My question would always be, what can you offer me? Right? Like, what would make it worth my while to say, you know what? I choose you as my comrade. I choose you as my partner who I'm going to go into this war and fight with. As of now, I'm saying as a black man, I feel like I'm just better off by myself. And I know everybody doubts me, so you don't have to remind me that there's no way I'll be able to do it, even though I've already done amazing things. One of the first black men to go into outer space was a black man, right? Like, so I know what you're gonna tell me. I can't do it on my own. Yeah, I hear you. But let's stick on what you're asking me, right? I'm saying I see no reason to feel a need to ally myself with anyone. In fact, we could probably use at least 100 years of not dealing with nobody, just getting our stuff together, right? What would be a reason that would benefit me in honesty when you listen to these conversations and you know the different dynamics, the things that are being said, how everyone views everything, right? It's not going to be just this walk through the park of roses and we're going to be united as one. What reason do I have to work with anyone?
My answer to that real quick. I'm about to leave out. But Willie, like right now, there's the Nigerian president wants to see I think it's Saint Lucia, right? You want to go see the president, prime minister of Saint Lucia. The different African nations are dealing deals with CARICOM, right? Why is there no equivalent of that in Black America, where you guys are one of the biggest, most popular African on this hemisphere, right? On the Western Hemisphere. Why there's no coalition between you and Africa sitting down doing investments and business deals? Why is that not even a thought in your mind, man? Because you were
Because there's
bourgeois, right? You don't care
because
about your black
because there's
collective. You don't care
nothing.
about new investments.
No, I'm
Well, hold on,
saying
the
there's
Europeans,
nothing connecting me to that. Who would you want to work with? Who would you say
black
CARICOM should work
African
with?
investors,
Should they?
African
Who?
investors are going to
Who?
CARICOM and invest billions. Look it
So
up.
why
It's
didn't
going
y'all
on as
call
we
Tyler
speak.
Perry? So why didn't y'all call
Bro, hold on.
Michael Jordan?
Hold on. William Ruto went to go sit with the Black Caucus. What is my question again?
Listen,
What is the Black
all right.
agenda of
Let me put it
2025
in
of the
perspective this
Black
way.
Caucus, the Black bourgeois like yourself? What is y'all agenda for Black America? And you still haven't answered my question, bro.
We all
Even
have
the
our
Essence Fest.
own
What would
different
you like to see
agendas.
from Essence Fest? You
We
don't
all
have an
have
answer.
our own different
So
agendas.
how are you going to build as a community if you all have 100 different agendas? When you talk about pre-1970s, there was different blocks. There was the
Because we're
Southern
building
Christian
different
bloc. There was
communities.
the
Because we're
NAACP.
building
So
different
how? So
communities,
why you mad?
right?
So why you mad
Wilmington,
at Caribbeans and
Wilmington
Africans
was a
when we
thing,
don't got shit
right?
to tap into like
Wilmington, North Carolina
1970?
was a thing, right? And then there was also Black Wall Street as well, right? You can build in multiple places and still hold your position in Black history, right? The people who built
That
Wilmington,
is
North
true, but what is
Carolina,
2025's version of Wilmington? What is 2025 New
me and my
Baltimore? What is your
homies trying to
vision for
build our own
Baltimore, Detroit?
community, right?
What is y'all?
Me and my homies trying to build our own community, right? And the only way we're gonna get that, because no one's gonna give it to
Okay.
us, we have to buy it, right? Now we're looking at a time when
True.
everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of the dudes in my circle, right? We all work remote. So now we can look at areas outside of something commutable, right? So now we can look at areas where, okay, we could literally buy 4 or 5 blocks over here. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
Can I say something right quick? That what you're saying is absolutely correct. I mean, you're gonna have people on here saying
I
about people
appreciate
that,
that, Elder.
yeah, no,
I appreciate that.
because I've been here over 70 years. I know for a fact that black people that buy property have ownership and pass that property down to their children. That's the only way to go. Because all
And
this other
Elder,
stuff,
Elder, look, this is the good thing about COVID. COVID changed the game. Most of us went to an office every day before COVID. Now
right?
we all got a laptop. We could work from Japan if we want. So now we have an opportunity to look at communities outside of the beaten path that we could go buy up,
That's true.
especially with
That's
what we make in the C-suite. You know what I mean? Yeah,
but yeah,
we go
that's
buy
what
that
I
up.
That's what I've been doing for years. I bought property and I made sure I kept those properties in the family because all these other people that are moving into those communities, I'm on the West Coast. They're Hispanics. A lot of those older people that were there, they were, they got old. So they got to the point in time they had to sell. They wanted to pass those properties on to their children, but the children would, their mindset was not that. They wanted to get money and move on. But those communities were taken over by these other people. And once those people came to those communities, they simply moved them out.
You
That
know
was
what's
it.
crazy, Elder? Like I go back and forth with a lot of people my age a lot because they'll make that what I believe is a completely false claim that, oh, the elders didn't do this for us, so they failed us. In my opinion, like I look at the fact that this whole generation, right, my generation, we'll never have a president our age. Now, when you think about that, right, that speaks to our lack of political involvement.
Right.
It's gonna go to the next generation from being anciently elderly to AOC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that speaks to us not stepping up to grab the reins. So I don't blame. I just try to figure out what am I gonna do going forward? How do I learn from the mistakes we've already made? And I
Just,
just
you
try
know
to
what?
take
I
it
don't
from
mean to cut you off, but it's what you're doing. If you have the money to buy property, buy it.
there.
Don't just rent. Buy those properties so you can keep it in the family and pass on to generations. Unfortunately, that's what's happened to black people. We've been playing Monopoly. Everybody has the money and the pieces on that board, and black people were blocked from that Monopoly game. We were never given the loans. We were constantly being redlined. And I know people are going to have all these different conversations. Okay, if people outside of the black community in the United States, if they believe in what black people in this country are doing, invest in us here. That's what
Cuddy know what
Gaddafi
I'm
did.
talking about because he from here. He know
Gaddafi
with what
did it.
me and my homeboys make, we could go buy 2 houses apiece in Kannapolis, right?
Yep.
Now, if
Yep.
we got to come to that office every day, living in Kannapolis isn't worth it. So you want to live closer. You want to live somewhere in Charlotte, you'll pay double for the property. But once it opened up and we could, just work from a laptop, oh yeah, let's move on something. Let's all buy a block.
Yep. But I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember in Georgia, and I think it was Atlanta, when those black folks, they got together and they bought all this land for a black community? The people that fought against that were people on the outside and in the white community, and they stopped it. That's the collective. The collective is saying anything that's black owned in this country, it's going to be fought. Everything's going to be trying to take away from it. Because, like I said, it came from Tulsa. There's been over 200 communities, black communities, that were based on white communities, and white people came in those communities and destroyed those communities. Not only destroyed them, there were rapes, there were hangings, there were castrations, the most awful things that happen to anyone. But people don't talk about that. They keep saying, well, black people don't have this and they don't have that. White people take stuff. And the reason that we have this element of people in our community that do what they do as far as criminals, we learn from the best. We learn from the white people.
Hey y'all, we gotta close out. Let me read these super chats real quick. Let's see here. PCH Rise, thank you for the $5 holla. FBA doctrine merges with American exceptionalism supremacy. They consciously, willingly elevate Western dominance to suppress African people.
Thank you.
PH, thank you for 499 holla. You ever look at how black Africans light up when a white person is in their presence? Please don't do that. African goddess, thank you for the yes, y'all do. When when Sleepy Joe Biden comes around. Black folks lit up.
Respect, family.
Thank you for the 4,000 naira, African goddess. Thank you, sister. Maximilian, thank you for 499 holla. No, you're not African. You're a sold African. The question is, who owns you, Africa or the white man? PH, thank you for 999 holla. Most black Africans, Caribbean supported Trump. The F you talking about? Gold Nine, thank you for $1.99 holla. Jagoon, this topic is Black American issue. JCE, thank you for $1.99 holla. The small hat spot BET, no complaint, strange. PCH Rise, thank you for the $10. FBA 80OX should stop using the Andro talking points such as tether. It is a word championed by skinheads targeting Jews who they believe were white passing. Blackjack 38, thank you for 999 holla. The term Afro-American was used by Frederick Douglass, Martin Delaney, and Ida B. Wells as early as the 1800s. Malcolm X used it in the 60s. Jesse Jackson just made it an official term in the 1980s. Chanel Harry, thank you for 999 holla. The father of Pan-Africanism was Trinidadian. No, it was Martin.
That was me. That was me, Dinah. But
yeah, it was Martin Delaney.
Haile Selassie.
Before him was Martin Delaney. It was Martin Delaney. It was Martin Delaney.
Selassie was Rastafarian.
Yeah, he was a Rasta.
Yeah, that's why Rastas get the most respect in Africa. They get way more respect than Black Americans.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
What?
Cuddy. Everybody.
Nobody respects
Black Americans.
Hold on, Cuddy. Whenever I'm in Africa, the Rastas is known as smoking weed and effing fat white women.
That's true.
Smoking weed and effing fat white women. That's what they do in Africa. That's all they know.
They give more love than we do.
I disagree. Chanel Harry, but we got a separate show on that. Chanel Harry, thank you for $1.
That was Dinah. That's me.
Thank you, Chanel. Thank you for $1 holla.
No, but I was gonna say that the father Pan-Africanism, I'm sorry, is Henry Sylvester Williams. He was a lawyer from Trinidad and Tobago.
You know what? Okay, because so the argument is either him or Martin Delaney, but we can have another.
Okay,
we could talk about that another day. I already read this one. Everyone, thanks so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. That is Research for Huru. Peace.